Happy Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Bring that music up. You can't hear it on YouTube, but you can hear it on WACU.
Can you sing it?
This is, I wouldn't mind singing it. Wonderful. It's marvelous.
To get that song, I like this.
You like this song? You know, it's upbeat. It's happy. Yeah. And I know some stations open with kind of bumper music that is, well, bumpers. Yeah. Anyway, let us say good morning to, obviously, Terry Chamberlain. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
John Meisinger is here as well. Thank you for bringing in.
Yeah.
What's the treat this morning?
I think it's donuts. I picked them.
Donuts? You think you don't know?
Well,
I mean,
got my fingerprints on them.
I thought you were very selective in picking up. And let me quickly say the other guy that's trying to interrupt me as usual is Terry.
I'm not trying to interrupt. I want to know where the donuts are from.
Well, they're from the
Good morning,
kitchen's at Schnucks.
Good morning. Yeah.
At Schnucks. Yeah.
So,
Oh,
you know, I be careful what you say and what you ask for, because it used to be cold, right? Terry, will you back me up that in here? So I complained for several days, and now what happens? I come in, it's just pleasant, and these two dudes say, "It's muggy in here.
It's got to be
hot
like
in here."
85 degrees in
it's
here.
got to be 80 in
Yeah,
here.
I brought my.
I brought my jacket in too.
Eat it.
So now I've got to call the owner.
Down a little less here in a minute.
I've got okay.
Okay.
Plan is working. At any rate,
Stop, Roger.
at any rate, now I've got to call and say, "Can you turn the air back on?"
You should have complained so much. Did you yell at the poor person?
Oh, I never yell unless it's on the highway.
I've heard you.
Along the highway.
Well, it used to be on a morgue setting. Now it's, I think, on the hell setting.
Yeah.
It's really morbid.
So now I've got to call, and I will give the woman who she and her husband own this. They live in San Diego, where the weather's always beautiful, and I've
She
got
can change it from there.
and you know you can change anything from somewhere.
Well, yeah.
You know,
but still,
with
got an app
today,
or something.
you know.
It's on your-
By the way, you don't need an app to hear and see our program. Thank goodness. And I want to say happy birthday to one of the guys who is with It Plays, with a media group that set up the live streaming. Chris Buckley has a birthday today. I want to say happy birthday to Chris.
Happy birthday.
Exactly right.
Christopher.
And we took a, asked him for a donation. And right now, Chris, if you're listening, we have $1.95.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the end of the show,
Phone lines
we'll
are open.
we'll get at least $5 because you can buy something decent at Dollar General or Dollar Tree
You get
for
five
$5.
things.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. It's
No.
about $1
It's
now.
about a quarter, yeah. And they're also now they've got things higher price now. It's no longer Dollar Tree, it's Dollars Tree.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I don't-
They've got things at $2 and it's posted usually where the product is, particularly in the cold storage locker,
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
where it says 2, 3, 4, 5, and eventually you get up to something that you can eat.
So it's kind of like Motel 6. You can't really get a room for $6 anymore,
No.
can you?
You know, that's a good point.
is that how that started? No,
I'm pretty sure it did.
it was
For
$6 a
$6.
room
Well, think how long ago
For
that
an
was.
hour.
Yeah.
for an hour. $6.
Well, no, I don't know that. I've never.
Sure. How would you know that?
I would not.
Yeah. Let's move on. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you know, we had our medical report prior to going on the air, and it was good to hear people talking about well, I thought I heard you, the three of you talking about health problems. I think you said you had.
About drinking.
Yeah,
Well, that's a health.
yes, it is a health.
Yeah, yeah. Now that you mention it, you're right. We
Yeah,
were talking about.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I
didn't
thought
know.
about.
didn't
I
know
didn't
that.
know. I didn't. Well,
All right.
I don't know what you heard, Roger.
I heard
Roger.
news. Yeah, just remember our slogan: if it's news to you, it's news to us.
Yeah, that's right. That's the first.
That's
You're right.
Yeah. It's warm in here.
Listen to him now.
It is.
His hands are melted to the floor.
Did you agree with me, Terry, that it was cold in the
It
morning?
was chilly.
Yeah,
That's
but
yeah.
why we
put
stuck
on-
on long
yeah.
sleeves.
Yeah.
Put on a
Not a
little
sweater.
jacket or
Yeah.
something. Now, what
All
do
right.
you do? Take
All
your
right.
shirt
Well,
off? I mean,
since you had advice for her, why don't you get a short sleeve shirt on instead of wearing
it's
that?
gingham.
You put
It's-
that on for winter.
It's
It's not
lightweight.
going to snow.
No, it's gingham. It's very lightweight.
Well, you don't have to get a.
Shouldn't affect
Yeah,
you.
he said.
Angry.
But you're in
Gingham.
short
I don't
sleeves.
know what
and
short
shorts.
sleeve.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Now, a check of the weather in our studio, brought to you by your hometown community banks. Division of Martin Community Bank. They have 46 wonderful locations in Central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower, and you know they have time for you. Member FDIC.
Dense fog
Well,
this morning. Oh, sorry.
I was going to add
I
to it.
said you
It just shows you. I didn't say shut the air conditioning off. I said, could you turn it down?
Well, if you turn down air conditioner, it gets colder, does it not?
That's true. Johnny's very, very accurate on that. If you turn it down, it becomes colder.
So you need to turn the
So,
basic temperature
so
up.
now it's my fault for saying turn up the air conditioning.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, how about the fog?
Well, dense fog this morning, advisory until 10. You get up this morning, they'll be due on your lily. Because it's it's bad out there.
Lily due dating.
Otherwise, sunny and 87 tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 89, partly cloudy tomorrow night, low 72. Wednesday, mostly sunny, chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. High back in the 90s. Thursday, partly sunny, high 88. Possible rain Friday, another mild July day with sunshine and high of 84. Saturday, sunny with a chance of rain, high 88. So rain off and on pretty much for the week. Right now, it's only 67, but there is a lot of, you have to use your wipers this morning. There's dew out there today. So we've got that going for us.
All right.
Was it very foggy coming in? 'Cause I didn't see any
Well, not
fog.
foggy, but my car was wet. There was dew everywhere.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean, they can. He was on the fog, and like I don't see any
I didn't see any
fog.
Okay,
fog.
there is fog. It
Did you
was
see fog from work?
in my neighborhood, clear as a bell. When I got on Queenwood and headed for Main Street, it was very heavy. Got on I-155, and it was dense fog. I drove like a half a mile clear. On a clear night, you can
Really?
see forever. Right. Then I get to East Peoria, and then it's foggy. So when you say scattered fog, the
It
weather
was-
bureau likes to say patchy. I've never,
You don't
it's
like
not a
quilt.
quilt. So scattered fog.
No,
is
that's a
most
cloud
appropriate.
that settles on the ground, right? That's
So
always-
the bottom
Yeah.
line is there are areas of fog in central Illinois, some quite heavy, and I believe you indicated we do have a dense. It's spelled DENSE. Dense.
I spelled it correctly. But I
dense.
didn't know what you wrote there.
Yes,
I had no idea what you wrote.
You know, I have a feeling that you came from the school that stopped doing cursive
No,
because you
No.
can't read my handwriting.
No, I was.
And I got high marks for my handwriting. And then along comes a guy that has a hard time,
This
and you
was-
wear glasses,
Sister Judith
beautiful
Ann taught
glasses,
me-
by the way, from
Sister-
Dollar Tree.
Sister Judith Ann taught me cursive. We had those pens with a big knob on it.
Yep.
Yes.
But I was left-handed, so I got.
Well, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, we've had this discussion before. I know there are people on the edge of the seats waiting for news, but when you had when you were in grade school, do you remember up on the blackboard at the top they would
Yep.
have cursive?
The
would
cursive
they? Yeah.
alphabet.
When did they stop thinking that was necessary? in our education? Was it when that
Last the
a very attractive
John,
woman who
you
heads the
forgot.
National Education Association, when she became president?
John was in education.
You keep passing the buck over here.
Well,
I really,
Well,
anything. I understand.
you're a former principal, a teacher, and you are also a member of the Peoria Regional Office of Superintendent Education. I never get the big. Yeah, you're part of that. So you're the go-to guy when it comes to education. Well, you're not the
Yeah.
go-to. I said, yeah.
Goat is a good.
Depends on your answers whether you're the go.
Well, that's true.
They got rid
And
of the
I'm
alphabet.
going to tell you something. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize when they had taken it out. It was out. We didn't know it in high schools
Oh,
because, we don't pay much
So you didn't know
attention to
your
what's
job
going
that
on in
well? You didn't-
first, second, third grade.
you didn't know your job that well?
Not very well. No, I really didn't.
I-
It always surprised me why they hired me. It was like, okay, let's get him out of here where he can do no damage.
I have a grandson who cannot write cursive
How old?
when now he's 25 and he cannot write cursive.
Well, they weren't.
Everything is printed,
Yeah.
and the printing is, like he writes
Well, hey,
prescriptions for doctors.
Print a lot. I know cursive, but sometimes I print. Like if I'm doing a
Well, we all do that. I think we all. I do a little. I used to print for you, but you had a hard time reading that.
well,
So I thought, well, you know what? I've got
I
good
should show this
penmanship.
on.
People have said you have
I-
good handwriting,
Yeah,
Roger.
I crossed it out, or you'd see it. There's no way you could know what that word was.
Okay, we're going to put it on I'm going to put it up in front of the camera
In front of the camera.
and ask our viewers to
Did you see it?
survey.
No.
Oh, before you
No.
scratch that?
No.
No, don't try to enlist the
No,
help
I
of
did-
other people.
I just wanted other opinions because you've got one opinion. I've got another opinion. We've got two other judges here. I thought I'd get their opinion.
Well, yeah, and as a result, they have the opportunity to either embarrass me or support me, and I know I'm going to lose.
They either keep their job or lose their job.
Keep their job. Yeah, no, I don't want to lose them. The word is I don't want to lose them. Anyway,
Put off my nose on.
Okay.
anyway, that's neat. You've got a little note there with a Christmas tree on it. Have you been shopping already, Terry?
No, this is just how you get umpteen.
You know what? You're right.
And you
I've
just-
got a stack of them, and they come in handy.
What?
sometimes
What are
just
Order from
notepads.
agencies.
You got a stack
Oh.
this high of notepads that just.
Really?
Oh yeah, you get them in a lot of times when you get the stupid address labels.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I've papered my bathroom with those labels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's beautiful.
Really nice.
Yeah, that-
Uh,
Really nice.
Anyway, let's get it.
Very straight too. They did a good job.
Our news brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They've been around since 1993, providing home health care. Locally owned and operated. You can reach them at any hour of the day or night, 24/7 at 309-245-0723. Here's Terry.
A Sunday shooting in Lexington, Kentucky has left 2 women dead and 2 others injured, as well as a state trooper. The gunman is dead, say police. The suspect shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport and then went to a Baptist church where he opened fire, killing the women and wounding 2 men before he was fatally gunned down. No motive for the shootings has been determined.
Most of the weekend news focused on the attempted assassination of President Trump that happened a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That and the screw up of protection, or lack thereby, by these Secret Service agents. Helen Comptor wasted no words for the agency, calling it garbage. Her husband died from a bullet fired by 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks, intended for the president. The agents were blasted for being inside the building while Crooks lay waiting on the roof. He managed to get off 8 shots in 6 seconds before he was killed by Secret Service snipers.
Senator Rand Paul believes there's been a cultural cover-up of the assassination attempt. The latest investigative report says the Trump White House made more than 10 requests for additional protective resources, and all were denied or ignored by the Secret Service.
Heavy rains have hampered the effort of recovery teams in central Texas. The latest death toll is at 129, with more than 170 listed as missing. Meanwhile, Democrats are attacking Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, claiming there's been a slow response by FEMA to help survivors of the floods. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded the resignation of Nome. The secretary said she could care less what Senator Warren said. President Trump held a news conference with Texas officials who praised the quick response from Trump and the federal government.
The battle of tariffs continues, with President announcing 30% tariffs against the European Union and Mexico. Trump said the tariffs would begin August 1st. The president is seeking a better balance between the countries, pointing out exports from this country are heavily taxed in Europe and Mexico. We've been on the short end of trade deficits for years, Trump said. It's time for a change.
In local news, tomorrow is a big day for the start of this year's Heart of Illinois Fair. The annual event at Expo Gardens runs from Tuesday through Saturday. No word from fair officials, but this could be the last fair due to the sale of 70 acres of Expo Gardens to the city of Peoria for planned housing development. There's also been a decline in fair attendance. Most, if not all, of the livestock events have been canceled. And again, this year, no carnival kids.
Oh.
A group of people gathered over the weekend to protest violence in the city. They marched from City Hall to Matthew Street, calling for the shooting to end. Some of the speakers said there's a need for more community resources for young people and better education. The march was sponsored by the Next Level Academies, which is a nonprofit organization that recently received a state grant of $325,000 in support of vocational training programs.
The McCluggage Bridge, a.k.a. the 150 Bridge, will be closed this evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Workers will be blowing up some concrete piers during that time. Drivers will have to utilize the downtown bridges, Murray Baker, Bob Michael, and Cedar Street. No word on whether the CARP will be affected.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be flying through the air.
flying
Because they
through the air.
jump with noise, right?
Yep.
They'll
what makes them
definitely be
jump.
jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so will anybody who's hoping to catch some of them flying
They're
through
going
the
to be
air.
blowing them up. When did you say? Between 7 and
Well,
7 and 9.
supposedly between 7 and 9, because that's when they're closing it down.
wow.
In both directions, so the bridge
So
will
if they do
be.
it at 6 or 10.
I was on
Be raining rocks.
I was on. I'm trying to think of the road, the Allentown Road over between Tremont, and I was on Pfeiffer Road, I think it is, and came up to Allentown Road, and there were 3 head of cattle, and wandering on the road.
In the street?
No, on the road.
Well,
And at any rate,
Did you roll down your window and say, "Move"?
no, they said that to me, and they headed west. So I called the Tazewell County Sheriff's Department. Would that be the right place to call?
well,
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, because you don't have animal control on
Of
speed.
course, you were in Woodford County.
no, it's Tazewell. And at any rate, and I got a recording, and so they gave me options for more
You called
recordings.
911 and he got
Now,
recorded. Oh,
let me finish the story.
okay. I'm just trying
Those
to
are all good questions that will be answered
write them down. and we'll
later
see
in
what
the
happens.
news conference. So I selected a recording and got another recording, and I thought, you know what, this is ridiculous. So I did what you suggested. Probably should have started there, but 911 is for an emergency. Now, you could argue whether it was emergency or not, but since I had no other alternative, so I called.
Sure.
And I told the young lady what was going on. She said, "Thank you very much." And then I thought it was kind of curious. She said, "What is your name, sir?" And I thought, well, why is that important? And I thought, well, maybe they're going to reward me. Maybe I'll get a coupon if I get caught speeding. Now, here's my coupon.
It's a positive thought.
But
Good.
I gave her my name,
Elmer?
and she said, "Now, how do you spell Grawy?" And I said, Grawe.
Now I know why I got that call. I got a call at 3 a.m. Mr. Growy, are the calls?
No, here's more important news coming up from WCBU. But
I don't think so.
how do you identify the 3
Cows?
animals? Well, I don't know whether they were cows.
Was it a dog? Was it sheep?
Well,
no,
But you don't know whether it was a male or female.
well, you don't know whether it was
right,
a
and
heifer or a
right,
steer.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so
That's
I had
different.
I had a friend said, "Well, what kind of cows?" I said, "I don't think they were cows." And she said, "What are the other choices?" And we said,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, but it took a long time to
Wow.
It's like,
seriously, folks.
yeah, seriously, that was a serious.
How do you? What were my choices? You mentioned cows.
You
Well,
know,
You
steer,
said steers.
cattle,
Yeah, just
Cattle.
some cattle on.
beef.
Yeah. And you could say cat. You could say
There's a thing that's unpolitically correct about it.
yeah. And now you said
well, heifer.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't.
you said cattle, but if there had been only one, what would you have called it?
A cow.
Well, no, there were no boobs on the cow.
Big animal.
There doesn't have,
Well,
there doesn't have to be boobs.
cow
There
cow
have to be a
doesn't
cow.
mean a female.
No.
I thought that a cow was a female.
No, a
that-
cow is a cow.
A female is a female is
It's a heifer.
no, yes, a heifer.
Well, what do you call the animal that provides Angus steaks? Angus. high price.
How do you prepare that steak usually?
Anyway, the bottom line is they headed west, which is what they should have been going.
Well, yes,
It was
go
west,
Yeah.
and they were headed toward Ravers. So I don't know whether or not.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Huh.
And fortunately, Allentown Road is closed only to local traffic. So,
Well, they were probably
Um,
local.
but but what I was worried about, you have dips in the highway. If somebody is rolling down, as many people do, 60, 65 miles an hour and come upon it, unlike a deer that you can knock into Woodford County, you hit one of those suckers and you're not going
Your
anywhere.
Cadillac is going to be.
Yeah.
Now I know it's not nice to call somebody driving on a road a dip. I know that's not nice.
No.
Did you say there was dips in the road too?
Many dips.
No,
yes.
they were on I-74,
That's
but
not
not on the Allentown Black. Well, I thought that was an informative story.
Well, it was. It was a great story.
And
Great story.
but there's no end to the
Tell it
story.
next time.
I don't know whether or not where the cows were from.
Well, that's why the police wanted your name. They want to
Yeah.
contact you and let you know what they were.
I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just being polite.
Well, that was our human interest story of the morning.
What time was that?
Around 2:30.
They must have got out from just somebody's farm. Is there cows around there on farms that you've seen?
Obviously.
No, I mean
Where did you think they came from? Springfield?
they could have fell off a truck.
Okay, we didn't ask if they were standing up.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Were they laying on their sides with their feet straight up?
Yeah,
in the
were
air?
they-
Somehow I think I made a mistake bringing that story up on the program. So let's see if WCBU has something more
Okay.
intelligent to
that's on there,
talk
too.
about. Yes. So I think they fell
From the
asleep.
WCBU Newsroom, I'm John Norton. A state grant means Tazewell County's election process is getting a technology upgrade. Clerk John Ackerman says a $360,000 grant from the State Board of Elections allows his office to purchase new voter registration software and electronic poll books for every precinct in the county.
These electronic poll pads have all of the voters' information on there, or copy of their signatures, so that the election judge can match the signature, their address, what ballot style they should have.
Ackerman said that information was previously printed on paper poll books, approximately 93,000 sheets per election. The new equipment will be in use for the first time in the November 2026 primary election. Tucked into President Trump's big, beautiful bill making 2017 tax cuts permanent is an affordable housing tax credit. Central Illinois Congressman Darren LaHood says it will reduce the high interest and construction materials cost barriers to building new housing.
Will create 12 to 15,000 new housing units in Illinois in the next 2 years here.
LaHood says in return for the 13 to 14% tax break, developers have to keep rents affordable for 15 years. He says that could make a meaningful difference in the area housing shortage. LaHood says the affordable housing tax credit first came about during the Reagan administration, but has not been reactivated much since then. And hospital officials in Illinois are warning that many of them may have to cut services, lay off workers, or even go out of business due to impending cuts in federal Medicaid funding. Capital News Illinois reports that Illinois is expected to lose about $48 billion in Medicaid funding over the next 10 years. That's due to passage of President Trump's domestic policy bill. A.J. Wilhelmi heads the Illinois Health and Hospital Association and says rural hospitals may be most at risk because they tend to serve a larger volume of Medicaid patients. But Wilhelmi says some of the cuts will not take effect for another few years, and he is urging state officials to start working now on solutions to protect those hospitals. I'm John Norton, WCBU News.
Well, there you have news from WCBU. Now let's find out what happened in the world of sports. John Meisinger, ladies and gentlemen, with scores and stories. Good morning, Johnny.
Have you introduced me as Johnny? It's been a long time since people have called me Johnny, and then we're back. I've reverted back.
Well,
Or now Johnny again, which is fine. I don't care.
Well, look how
Where's
long
Johnny Mice?
Ed McMahon introduced Johnny Carson. Here's Johnny. And we all remember that with great fondness. And now we have three dudes, political dudes on the network, and all they are political programs. I don't know about you. When was the last time any of you watched late night television with Jimmy People and Stephen Dilbert and the others? No.
Stephen Dilbert.
I rest my case.
Yeah, you're right. Well, thank you so much.
So here's John.
You can call me whatever you want.
Okay.
Don't call me late for dinner.
Okay.
Right? You ever heard that story?
Yes.
Major League Baseball yesterday showed a manga. How do I say that? Maniga. That's how you say his name. He's a Cub pitcher, correct?
Yes, that is correct, I
Thank you
believe.
so much. He struck out Aaron Judge twice while pitching 7 wonderful innings, leading the Chicago Cubs to a 4-1 victory over the New York Yankees yesterday. Michael Busch and Dansby Swanson homered for the Cubs, who headed into the All-Star break with 57 wins, their most since 2008. So the Cubs are on a roll here. Daniel Palencia handled the ninth for his 12th save, finishing a 2-hitter. Cincinnati manager Terry Francona. You know Terry Francona? Yeah. He got his 2,000th win when he directed the Reds to a 4-2 win over Colorado Rockies yesterday. In other games, the Cards beat the Braves 5-4. It was a squeaker, though. Guardians over the White Sox 6-5 in 10 innings. Mariners beat the Tigers 8-4. Pirates over the Twins 2-1. The Brewers beat the Nationals 8-1, and the Phillies beat the Padres 2-1. In Peoria Chiefs action yesterday, it was the Colonels 10, the Chiefs 8. The Colonels came back. They were down, I believe it was 8-3 going into the 6th inning, and they decided they were going to win the game instead of losing it. And so the Colonels beat the Chiefs 10-8. The Chiefs' next game will be at the Quad Cities after the All-Star break on Friday, July 18th at 6:30 p.m. Chicago Bears and general manager Ryan Poles have agreed to a 3-year contract extension. How's that? That runs through the 2029 season, according to ESPN. Poles had 2 years remaining in the 5-year contract he signed upon becoming Chicago's general manager in 2022. He is now aligned with head coach Ben Johnson, whose contract runs through 2029. The Bears are 15 wins, 36 losses under his leadership.
It shows how to reward mediocrity. If you're not doing
that's not even mediocrity.
I know, that's pathetic. A lot of people have been calling for his resignation. And what do? And they signed this coach for
till
2029.
Yes. That just means they have to pay him. That doesn't mean they have to keep him.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So they can get out of it. They just have to have somebody else too. So that just amazed me. So
keeping this general manager, they haven't won they didn't make the playoffs last year.
No.
Congratulations.
But they beat the Packers, and I think maybe that's all that matters.
Once.
Well, no, Oh, I know that very well. Ask Kyle. He'll tell you. He'll tell you the date and the time and the score.
And the score.
Hey, in youth golf, this is for you, Terry. I know you always like to hear what my grandchildren do, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do. Oh, this is your kids. Okay. Yeah.
The Mount Holly Junior Open Golf Prep Tour was held last week at Mount Holly Country Club and at Kellogg Golf Course. Over 80 high school age boys and girls came from around the Midwest to compete in the two-day tournament. Shane Cunningham, who will be a freshman at Richwoods, won the varsity boys division after edging out the junior Court Bohannon of Washington High School on a playoff hole on Friday. Both finished tied at regulation at +4 over the two-day tournament. JV winner was Will Snyder of Brimfield with a +6, and the girls division Ella Tuman of Effingham. She was the winner there. Good golfers in town, but he was able to play up on the varsity. He's only 14. He's the only kid that didn't get in his car and drive home after the tournament. And didn't wait for his mom. Oh, you ready to go, Mom? So
Wow,
anyway,
that's great.
yeah, he did a nice job, and so
Great.
he's very excited about that,
Good for him.
and we're proud of him. Well, there's a new swimmer in town. Well, she's lived here all of her life, but making her name in the state and national level. Cameron Gardner, 14 years old, swims for the Peoria Area Water Wizards swim team. In March, as a 13-year-old, she set the all-night record for her age group in the 200 butterfly with a time of 2:02.15. I know a lot of people don't understand swimming times. It's pretty darn
That's
good.
fast.
Yeah, very fast. Then later in the month, she broke her own record at the National Club Swimming Association meet in Florida. She wowed the crowd with a meet record time of 2 minutes, .46. She's a month away from joining the Peoria Notre Dame swim team, where she'll undoubtedly compete in multiple events as a freshman. Let me give you a little perspective here. You have a football field's 100 yards, correct? Okay, and so 200 yards would be two football fields. And then it's meters, so it's a little bit longer than that. And so she swam that in the butterfly, which is the arms over the head. It's very difficult.
That's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, she went 200 meters in 2 minutes, which is absolutely astounding for a 14-year-old.
Wow, she had webbed feet or something?
I don't know, but she's a sweet girl, and they kind of did a little thing on her over the weekend on TV, kind of talked her up.
Who's this, John?
This her name is Cameron Gardner, and she's a very good young swimmer, and Notre Dame will be excited to see her walk onto the pool.
That program at Notre Dame, I remember my son was on the Notre Dame. There was like 10 kids.
Yeah. Where do they swim? They used to swim at Woodruff, but they don't do that anymore.
Well,
it's a Woodruff
Central Pool now.
It's a Central Pool.
Well, yeah, Woodruff Pool is still there, but it hasn't been had water in it for 10, 12
And
years.
you know what? They're letting an asset deteriorate.
After you let it sit empty for 2 years, it's done.
Again, it shows poor leadership. Yeah, you've got to take care of your assets. Even if you don't have a team or a regular, you could use it as a community resource, as a possibility. But there are no forward-thinking people on the district's 150 school board.
Well, and this all took place a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
When they closed the school.
Yeah.
So,
but didn't it for a while? My understanding were some of the kids from Notre Dame were practicing and used that as their home field pool.
They did. Just like when I started at Manual, we didn't have a pool. We went to Richwoods. We were there in the evening working out from 5 to 7 p.m. every night. So, it was in good demand. And they don't teach swimming in the schools anymore.
And that's a shame.
Teach that.
Absolutely.
And we thought it was a great thing.
A great resource. Absolutely.
District 150 doesn't have any.
No, they have swim teams, but that depends on how many kids come out. You might only have 2 or 3 kids, and yeah.
Now the pool at Central, is that owned by District 150 or that belongs to Park District?
That's Park.
And you may recall there was a battle between the school board and the Park District over the use of that pool.
That was when Grenada Lathan was in power here, and she and Bonnie Noble. Would that be correct?
That would be correct.
Had a little bit of a butting heads, and that came out to be a bad thing for the for the school district.
School district. That was another one they lost.
Yeah. So
now is that pool still active, and that's where
that pool is active, and actually it's the PAW swim team, Peoria Area Water Wizards, and Notre Dame are the financial basis
supporters
behind
of
that. Yes, but it is still a park pool, and it is still open. But Park District doesn't even have pools anymore. They have splash pads for the most part.
They do.
Yeah.
I know they built that beautiful pool down off of MacArthur Highway, and I don't believe that's used anymore.
I don't know. I haven't. You know what? I haven't been down there to see it in a long time. But I think they still have a couple of pools open. But anyway, I digressed, and I apologize for getting off.
Well, no, that's okay. We've got 2.5 hours to go. So
we do.
Yeah,
I'll talk slowly. Wimbledon yesterday.
Yeah, you got Wimbledon there.
Just got a little bit. The 2025 tournament ran June 30th through July 13th. Aga Swiatek, I like that name, defeated Amanda Asimova of Great Britain to become Poland's first Wimbledon singles champion. Jannik Sinner of Italy triumphed over defending champion Carlos Alcaraz of Spain for the men's singles titles. The first singles title that has ever been won by an Italian.
And he's from northern Italy, so isn't that where Nick, was that his name, that stayed with Kyle Varno? And I think he was from northern Italy.
I think you're right, if I remember.
It was a great match. I watched some of it, and
it's
exciting.
The next new back
generation,
and forth, the generation that's going to come through, and geez, it's hard to believe it's been that long since the other guys have been the. I can't remember their names, but they were vying back and forth for years and years. I think it went 7 years, but there have been since then
good matches,
really great matches. So that's sports, Roger.
Yeah, good job as always.
Thank you.
And your timing was perfect because it's time for an update of our news at the bottom of the hour that we always provide our listeners. And our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport, providing outstanding emergency care. They've been around for, my goodness, since 1991. And saving lives is what they do at Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Here's Terry.
A Sunday shooting in Lexington, Kentucky has left 2 women dead and 2 others injured, as well as a state trooper. The gunman is dead, say police. The suspect shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport and then went to a Baptist church where he opened fire, killing the women and wounding 2 men before he was fatally gunned down. No motive for the shootings has been determined. Most of the weekend news focused on the attempted assassination of President Trump a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That and the screw-up of protection, or lack of it, by Secret Service agents. Helen Competore wasted no words for the agency, calling it garbage. Her husband died from a bullet fired by 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks, intended for the president. The agents were blasted for being inside the building while Crooks lay waiting on the roof. He managed to get off 8 shots in 6 seconds before he was killed by Secret Service snipers. Senator Rand Paul believes there's been a cultural cover-up of the assassination attempt. The latest investigative report says the Trump White House made more than 10 requests for additional protective resources, and all were denied or ignored by the Secret Service. Heavy rains have hampered the efforts of recovery teams in central Texas. The latest death toll is at 129, with more than 170 listed as missing. Meanwhile, Democrats are attacking Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, claiming there's been a slow response by FEMA to help survivors of the flood. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded the resignation of Noem. The secretary said she could care less what Senator Warren said. President Trump held a news conference with Texas officials who praised the quick response from Trump and the federal government. The battle of tariffs continues, with the president announcing 30% tariffs against the European Union and Mexico. Trump said the tariffs would begin August 1st. The president is seeking a better balance between the countries, pointing out exports from this country are heavily taxed in Europe and Mexico. We've been on the short end of trade deficits for years, Trump said. It's time for a change. In local news, tomorrow is the big day for the start of this year's Heart of Illinois Fair. The annual event at Exposition Gardens runs from Tuesday through Saturday. No word from fair officials, but this could be the last fair due to the sale of 70 acres of Expo Gardens land to the city of Peoria for a planned housing development. There's also been a decline in fair attendance. Most, if not all, of the livestock events have been canceled, and again this year, no carnival. A group of people gathered over the weekend to protest violence in the city. They marched from City Hall to Matthew Street, calling for the shooting to end. Some of the speakers said there's a need for more community resources for young people and better education. The march was sponsored by the Next Level Academies, which is a nonprofit organization that recently received a state grant of $325,000 in support of vocational training programs. And a final bit of news. You want to make note of this. The McCluggage Bridge will be closed this evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Workers will be blowing up some concrete piers during that time. Drivers will have to utilize the downtown bridges Murray Baker, Bob Michael, and Cedar Street. No word on whether the CARP will be affected.
Have any of you been around when they've had the previous explosions to hear it?
I heard it. I don't.
You have heard
Well, I
the
don't live
noise?
that far.
Yeah. You don't live that far from the Illinois
Well, I just
River?
live off corner of 150 in Knoxville, so not that far.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard him, but
I
I
haven't
live
either,
so
yeah.
far away. I
Yeah.
mean, and I can't imagine I would.
Well, let's have a check of the weather. Thinking about selling your home, buying a new home? Talk to Kathy Reynolds, a brilliant real estate. She's available 24/7 to help you. You can reach Kathy today at 309-696-2162.
Dense fog all morning until about 10 o'clock. There's a little dew on the lily this morning. Otherwise sunny and 87 tonight. Partly cloudy, low 67. Tomorrow mostly sunny, high 89. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, low 72. Wednesday mostly sunny. Chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high about 92. Right now, Roger, it's 67 degrees.
There you have it, boys and girls. Thank you. As we continue, just a little bit, very little for that matter, about they talk about due to the big, beautiful bill passed by Congress and signed by Donald Trump, that hospitals will be at risk and some may have to close. Let me tell you, I was a part of the hospital field for 25 years. Rural hospitals have been at risk for years, for two reasons. One, a lack of patience, and because so many people, instead of going to, as an example, Graham Hospital, just drive on to Peoria to St. Francis or Methodist. And the same way with Hopedale Hospital and Pekin Hospital. The problem has been a lack of patience and also poor reimbursement for years by Medicare and Medicaid. That's one of the reasons Bellwood closed. Bellwood closed because when Chuck Boyer was the administrator, 90% of the residents were private pay, 10% were public aid or Medicare and Medicaid. Today, what year did Bellwood close? 3 years ago, 4 years ago? The numbers were just the opposite. 10% private pay, and the rest were Medicare and Medicaid. And the problem was, and continues to be today, is the amount of reimbursement. In hospital charges, you have two categories. One is the cost, what it costs to deliver, and two is what they charge. And what they charge, and I may be wrong on the numbers today, but Medicare was paying about 55% of the charge, okay? And Medicaid was like 35%. Well, when you have, and I remember attending administrative meetings where the question came, is it cheaper and more cost efficient to have an empty bed versus having a bed with a Medicare or Medicaid patient, because they were paying less than the cost of delivering that service. So when they make the argument that they're at risk, rural hospitals have been at risk for a long time. There are two area hospitals that I still wonder how they're managing to stay open. I won't mention what they are, but you can use your own imagination. So when you hear people say, including the Illinois Hospital Association, indicate that due to this bill, we may see rural hospitals close. You may see them close regardless of whether that bill was passed or wasn't.
That's been, like you said, I agree with you. That's been something that's been going on a long time. So but is it, I may be wrong on this, but is it not that they're just getting rid of waste and fraud, the people who are taking advantage of the system?
There are, you're exactly right. And they're not, well said, John. They're not talking, the national or local media aren't talking about that. There are people who are on those Medicaid rosters or enrollment that should not be on. And among those are the illegal immigrants in this country who are paying nothing into the system but taking out of the system. And what they're doing is they're trying, there's so much fraud, particularly with Medicaid across the country. And you've seen it. Who was the local guy from Tazewell County? Rossi. And then they had another chiropractor in Eureka who were making claims for reimbursement for fake patients and fake clients. And that's what they're trying to do with the big, bad, beautiful bill.
Would it not then allow them to, if you get rid of the waste and the fraud and take people off that aren't supposed to be on, or prosecute that, whatever the case may be, doesn't that leave more
you would
for
think
everybody else?
Yes, you would think that. That's
okay,
correct.
so it
that's
should work the opposite.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they were saying that the economics of the bill, where we're giving tax breaks to everybody, not just the rich and the famous, but for everybody, and they're going to create a greater deficit. When the argument, on the other hand, as was done with President Reagan, is that the economy will be so robust, exactly right, and generating income that actually will provide more revenue than if they don't do anything.
That's the general thought process, and that's been proven historically, has it not?
Yes, true. I will say, I hope they don't close the Pekin Hospital, because I've gone there on more than one occasion to the emergency room, and you get seen like in 10 to 15 minutes. And I've heard people say they've been in the waiting room at one of the local hospitals, I won't say which one, for hours before you're even seen, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Some.
Would they just close? What hospital did they close like a year ago up north? St. Mary's or something?
Oh yes, right. And I think OSF finally rescued them.
Oh, they did?
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Oh, I was heard that they were going. I didn't know that they did. Okay.
I think that.
Doesn't OSF run the hospital in Eureka too? I mean, they got
no, that's I believe that's Carl Hill.
That's Carl
Hill. Okay, okay.
Yeah, they took that one. Yes, okay. Correct.
Yeah.
And that's how they're going to be saved. There have been rumors that both OSF and Carl, or previously Unity Point, and previous to that Methodist, were attempting to buy Graham Hospital, and Graham has resisted. Correct. Attempts to buy it. But that's a small hospital that rumor has been struggling financially for years and years.
Yeah. I can understand why they are, but I still don't see why people are upset about the fact that that we're going after waste and fraud, if that's the case. And maybe they're cutting more. I don't know. I haven't read the complete. I'm through chapter 72, I think, of the big, beautiful bill, and I haven't noticed anything about other cuts.
But. Well, it's just like ICE agents going after bad people, and they're getting attacked and crucified in the media by Governor Newsom and Karen Bass, who made a colossal failure, lack of leadership over the fires, and now she's doing the same thing when it comes to ridding the community of bad. You know, we've all seen the video, I'm sure, of them throwing big, huge rocks at these vehicles. Where they arrested criminal illegals and rescued 14 children who were working on a pot farm. Well, if you're working on a pot farm, chances are you're an illegal. I mean, just the very thought of raising pot is gives you an indication of where their value system is or lack thereof.
Well, I think they were legal pot farms, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're legal, but using kids
yeah,
to
it's,
raise pot. And as I understand it, they were unaccompanied. Their parents weren't there. These were kids on their own. And that's their whole future. This country is upside down
yeah, a little
It's
bit.
been upside
a
down.
little bit.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. Well, that's my issue. I'll get off my soapbox
Very well done.
now
No.
at this particular
Worth
point.
talking
but
about.
I'm very supportive of the healthcare profession, and uh, here's
I'm very supportive of if the business works, it works. If it doesn't, sorry. I mean, business is business.
one thing that I don't understand when you hear about the big long delay, particularly at really both hospitals, but particularly at St. Francis. I thought the Jack in the Box, as they have been called, not so affectionately, the prompt care and express care and ready care and all that, was supposed to relieve the pressure on the emergency room because so many people would go there with the sniffles instead of going to their neighborhood.
I think it has to an extent, but I think a lot of it. I don't know if I should say a lot, but some of it for sure. People use the emergency room when they probably shouldn't
Right.
be.
Yeah.
Because someone else is paying for it. So they'll grab an ambulance and take it there because they did have the sniffles or something and they maybe shouldn't have been there.
Well, one time, I think both hospitals, I certainly know that Methodist, they separated the emergency, the ones with heart attacks and severe injuries and so forth, from the sniffle area, where, okay,
I'm sure
they
there's
engage in what they call triage, where a nurse determines, oh, you need to go to this part versus going to the non-emergencies.
right. That's all part of emergency room.
And it was part of the triage. And apparently it didn't work, or it didn't work because now if you've got the sniffles or you think you have COVID-19 again, they put you in the waiting room with someone who has something that's going to make you sicker than hell.
Yeah,
To me, but what do you expect them to do? Okay, go outside, and we'll announce your number. You're number 99.
Yeah. I don't know what you do, but
yeah.
they do at some of the you said the satellite facilities.
Talking about.
A lot of them send you to the emergency room anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's
exactly.
like, well, you don't belong here. What?
You're right, because I was with someone who went to one of the facilities and said, well, I think you have this and I think you have that, so you should go to the emergency room. Well, that person said, oh, okay, and left, said, I'm not going. I'm not going to sit there and wait, because they even admitted you may be there for hours because and the interesting thing was they read the X-ray, and one doctor said you have this, and another doctor said no, you don't. What do you do then?
Get a third opinion.
No, you flip a coin. And
well, you could do that.
We won and they lost. Went home and everything turned out okay.
Yeah,
I will remember. I had someone remind me years ago when I worked at Methodist that I think it was the doctor said, medicine is not a perfect science.
No, that's why they call it a practice.
Yeah.
That's why you practice it. You never.
And that holds true for attorneys. My practice is in domestic abuse,
right?
Which this program is.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
Yeah. When was the last time any of you have been to an emergency room, and how long? And you don't have to identify the hospital. You probably took your mother more than once to an emergency room, and if it was critical, she was seen right away, was she not?
Yes, because the last couple times I had to have ambulance take her for the oxygen situation.
You get seen right away if you arrive by ambulance.
You do, but she's still. Oh golly, we were down in the emergency room area for got there at 2:00, 10 hours before they finally got a room for her up in ICU.
Kidding? Even though but in ICU, but when you went by ambulance, they did put her in a room right away.
They had because they were trying to get her body temperature up, and they had her in the room. Yeah, it was bad.
Right now we're trying to get her.
Okay, I could have brought her here. That would have taken care of her pretty quickly, right?
We need to get the temperature down in our room right now. I have to.
Not that we're talking about that.
I'm
no is necessary. The donuts have melted.
It was a little chilly.
The icing is
now on the floor.
Yeah,
that's right. It looks like milk.
Well, I raise this about healthcare in the hospitals, and the hospitals continue to be at risk. And we hope, as you said, if they can survive, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just in, Roger, there are large farm animals on the road. So be very careful.
Seriously?
Yeah, large farm animals on the road over in the Pekin area.
Really?
Yes. So
what happened?
They don't say what kind of farm animals there were, but
well, they were
down in the middle of the road.
Are you reading that?
So, let me ask you a question. Do we have time here, Roger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to kind of circle back. Earlier, you had told a story that you came across some farm
animals.
In the road, cows. I
guess
generally heifers, steer. Yeah, it could have been a lot of things.
They were not pigs.
Not pigs. No. I know a pig.
No, I know a pig when I see one.
Thank you. Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Oh, I just thinking about shopping at Walmart.
And you've probably seen deer. But
yes, I have.
Now, my understanding, if you're on the roadway and you hit a deer, and kill it or whatever, that you have a right. There a lot of times they'll let you take that deer. True?
Yeah, my understanding, yes.
It used to be. I don't know.
You want to take it and harvest it.
Yeah, if you want to take the deer, you can take the deer. Does that hold true if you hit a cow?
It probably is, but where would you put it?
Well, same where you put a deer in the trunk or in a back, in a truck.
Just buckle it
Because of how tall it is, we need to see. Answer your question. No, you're not entitled to take the farm animal.
Well, why not?
Any more than you could take if you hit my dog.
We don't eat dogs here.
We're talking about ownership. If you hit my dog,
we're talking about
you can't take my dog and claim it's yours.
No, but
why would you take
your dog? Is your dog because your dog's not food.
It's not the determination as whether it's food.
He's talking about whether you can take it and have it processed.
Yeah, because
some people do eat dog.
I've had.
I've heard this story before.
Let's not go there.
I've had Mugu Gai Poodle and sweet and sour shepherd before. But anyway, it wasn't on purpose. But no, I'm not going to take your pet. But if you hit a deer, you could take.
I don't
know whether that's true or not.
Yeah, it is.
All right, here's my viewpoint.
Yeah,
the deer is now owned by anyone. It's just it's a wild animal.
Well, that's true.
All right, the cattle are probably owned by somebody. I bet they have a brand.
That's why they brand them.
Yeah, well, they keep track of them. Yeah.
So no.
Well, no.
So you wouldn't be able to.
I don't think you would be able to
say that's my cow. But now here's the question: do they today brand cows and cattle?
I don't know.
I don't think they do that anymore.
I don't think we do.
I don't think that they have.
I mean, Yellowstone's been doing it all wrong.
But they've got thousands of.
That was good, Terry.
They've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
Well, my follow-up would be:
was it Harrison Ford? Is he the one that was in that?
Yes.
Yeah, he would never lie.
No, he wouldn't.
No.
Yeah. My follow-up would be: if you hit it in the road and you did get to take it, how far off the road could you hit?
Yes. Could you get into the field? How far
go off the?
Would you have to chase a cow? In other words, through the field with your Bronco.
I think several people in here need to take a saliva test. So the past half hour was filled with great intellectual conversations because it raised some weapons questions, none of which we had
Or meant anything.
any answers.
Well, just I want people to know and all that there are no cattle on the road near
You
Peak.
made
And
that up.
well, no, I just thought I wanted to talk about it again, and we didn't get to finish our conversation before.
I would like to know.
Would have been.
I would like to know what happened to the three. However, and how were they able to walk them back to the farm?
Well, you can lead a cow.
Yeah, but
You can't make him milk. Is that how that goes?
No.
What is that
You
story?
can lead a horse to water, but you can't make
Oh,
it
that's
drink.
right.
exactly right. You can lead a cow down the road, but you can't make them go all the way.
Okay. What's that effort?
We hope the next hour will be a lot more academically informative.
Like, it can't be any worse.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I get up every
Oh my
morning
goodness!
at
Yes, I wonder,
4:30
don't you?
to be informed by this intellectual
No,
crowd.
we try.
So we have some this day in history question.
Oh,
coming up.
good, good.
I
Stay tuned.
I can talk about the event I went to
Yeah,
the weekend.
where'd you go?
It was at the Embassy Suites, and it was
Hotel.
the fundraiser for the Graceland Center for
Oh,
Purposeful Aging.
Eddie P. performed there.
Eddie was there
I didn't
as
know.
Howard.
Einstein.
When was what
Yes,
time?
you did know about it.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I'm
because
sure you listen. Knowing and hearing are two different things.
Peggy Hawkins came
Going and
on
remembering.
the show and she talked about it.
Remembering.
We have a lot of people come on the show, and when I leave, I often say, "What was that all about?"
Who was that?
Now that's true. It's interesting.
Thank you.
And when people show up, sometimes it's like that deer and headlight.
I mean, here every Monday. That cow and headlight. What are you here for? Since February. How are you doing that?
I'm embarrassed. Hey, let's get it out of this
Okay.
with the news.
Diagnosed.
And we're at the top of the hour, and that means time for news, weather, and sports. That's brought to you by Matt Wall. He's CPA with Gordon Stockman and Wall. For more than 40 years now, Matt has been handling tax returns and other financial matters for individuals and businesses. And you can utilize him or access him calling 309-692-4030. And we lead with the check of the weather.
Scattered dense fog out there this morning until about 10 o'clock. So be careful. Otherwise, it'll be sunny and 87 tonight. Partly cloudy, low 67. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. High almost 90, 89 degrees. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, low 72. The evenings have been kind of nice. Wednesday, mostly sunny. Chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. High back up to 92. Right now, it's 68 at the wazoo.
Have you noticed? I think the AC just kicked
Yeah,
on.
I can feel it's a little bit
Yeah,
cooler in
a
here.
little cooler. Praise the Lord. And the landlord. Also on, not necessarily in that order, for that matter. Well, we have the news now, and the news is brought to you by our friends at Peoria Pet Crematory. They're available 24/7 to help you through the grieving process, offering several choices for care and remembrance. Peoria Pet Crematory, you can reach them at 309-713-1898.
A Sunday shooting in Lexington, Kentucky has left 2 women dead and 2 others injured, as well as a state trooper. The gunman is dead, say police. The suspect shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport and then went to a Baptist church where he opened fire, killing the women and wounding 2 men before he was fatally gunned down. No motive for the shootings has been determined.
Most of the weekend news focused on the attempted assassination of President Trump a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That and the screw-up of protection, or lack of it, by Secret Service agents. Helen Comparator wasted no words for the agency, calling it garbage. Her husband, as you know, died from a bullet fired by a 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks intended for the president. The agents were blasted for being inside the building while Crooks lay waiting on the roof. He managed to get off 8 shots in 6 seconds before he was killed by Secret Service snipers.
Senator Rand Paul believes there's been a cultural cover up of the assassination attempt. The latest investigative report says the Trump White House made more than 10 requests for additional protective resources, and all were denied or ignored by the Secret Service.
Heavy rains have hampered the efforts of recovery teams in central Texas. The latest death toll is 129, with more than 170 still listed as missing. Secretary Kristi Noem claiming there's been a slow response by FEMA to help survivors of the flood. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded the resignation of Noem. The secretary said she could care less what Senator Warren said. President Trump held a news conference with Texas officials who praised the quick response from Trump and the federal government.
The battle of tariffs continues, with the president announcing 30% tariffs against the European Union and Mexico. Trump said the tariffs would begin August 1st. The president is seeking a better balance between the countries, pointing out exports from this country are heavily taxed in Europe and Mexico. We've been on the short end of trade deficits for years, Trump said. It's time for a change.
In local news, tomorrow's the big day for the start of this year's Heart of Illinois Fair. The annual event at Expo Gardens runs from Tuesday through Saturday. No word from fair officials, but this could be the last year due to the sale of the 70 acres of Expo Garden land to the city of Peoria for planned housing development. There's also been a decline in fair attendance. Most, if not all, of the livestock events have been canceled. They're out roaming the streets. And again, this year, no carnival. Sorry, Roger.
A group of people gathered over the weekend to protest violence in the city. They marched from City Hall to Matthew Street, calling for the shooting to end. Some of the speakers said there's a need for more community resources for young people and better education. The march was sponsored by the Next Level Academies, which is a nonprofit organization that recently received a state grant of $325,000 in support of vocational training programs.
Hey, heads up, the McCluggey's Bridge will be closed this evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Workers are going to blow up some concrete piers during that time. Drivers will have to utilize other downtown bridges. There's the Murray Baker, the Bob Michael, the Cedar Street Bridge, or swim across. I don't care. No word on whether the park will be affected.
Then we worry about that too. The river's filled with carp. And now more news from WCVU, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates. He's the dean of independent insurance agents. Has been serving Central Illinois now for over 40 years. Learn more from Sam Lilly, and you can reach him at 309-245-4374. And now the news from WCVU.
The WCVU newsroom, I'm John Norton. A state grant means Tazewell County's election process is getting a technology upgrade. Clerk John Ackerman says a $360,000 grant from the State Board of Elections allows his office to purchase new voter registration software and electronic poll books for every precinct in the county.
These electronic poll pads have all of the voters' information on there, our copy of their signatures so that the election judge can match signature, their address, what ballot style they should have.
Ackerman said that information was previously printed on paper poll books, approximately 93,000 sheets per election. The new equipment will be in use for the first time in the November 2026 primary election. Tucked into President Trump's big, beautiful bill making 2017 tax cuts permanent is an affordable housing tax credit. Central Illinois Congressman Darren LaHood says it will reduce the high interest and construction materials cost barriers to building new housing.
We'll create 12 to 15,000 new housing units in Illinois in the next 2 years here.
LaHood says in return for the 13 to 14% tax break, developers have to keep rents affordable for 15 years. He says that could make a meaningful difference in the area housing shortage. LaHood says the affordable housing tax credit first came about during the Reagan administration, but has not been reactivated much since then. And hospital officials in Illinois are warning that many of them may have to cut services, lay off workers, or even go out of business due to impending cuts in federal Medicaid funding. Capital News Illinois reports that Illinois is expected to lose about $48 billion in Medicaid funding over the next 10 years. That's due to passage of President Trump's domestic policy bill. A.J. Wilhelmi heads the Illinois Health and Hospital Association and says rural hospitals may be most at risk because they tend to serve a larger volume of Medicaid patients. But Wilhelmi says some of the cuts will not take effect for another few years, and he is urging state officials to start working now on solutions to protect those hospitals. I'm John Norton, WCBU News.
All right, thank you, John. Now we have the latest sports from another John Meisinger. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Roger. Thank you for that intro. Shota Umanaga struck out Aaron Judge twice while pitching 7 wonderful innings, leading the Chicago Cubs to a wonderful 4-1 victory over the New York Yankees yesterday. Michael Busch and Dansby Swanson homered for the Cubs, who headed into the All-Star break with 57 wins. That's their most since 2008. Cincinnati manager Terry Francona got his 2000th win when he directed the Reds to a 4-2 win over the Colorado Rockies yesterday. In other games, the Cardinals beat the Braves yesterday after a long delay, 5-4. The Guardians beat the White Sox, but it took them 10 innings, 6-5. The Mariners 8, the Tigers 4. The Pirates beat the Twins 2-1. The Brewers 8, the Nationals 1. And the Phillies beat the Padres 2-1 yesterday as well. Yesterday in Peoria, it was the Colonels 10 and the Chiefs 8. They came from way behind to win that game. The Chiefs' next game will then be at Quad Cities after the All-Star break, and that'll be on Friday, July 18th at 6:30 p.m. Well, the Chicago Bears and general manager Ryan Poles have agreed to a 3-year contract extension that runs through 2029 season, according to ESPN. Poles had 2 years remaining on the 5-year contract he signed upon becoming Chicago's general manager in 2022. He is now aligned with head coach Ben Johnson, whose contract runs through the 2029 season. The Bears are 15 wins and 36 losses. That's less than a third, guys, I think, since Poles was hired. I don't understand it, but hey, they've got a good thing going, I guess. So we'll let them continue to do that. In youth golf, the Mount Holly, I didn't say Ute, I said youth.
Ute.
Yeah, Ute golf. The Mount Holly Junior Open Golf Prep Tour was held last week at Mount Holly Country Club and Kellogg Golf Course. Over 80 high school age boys and girls from around the Midwest competed in the 2-day tournament. Shane Cunningham, who will be a freshman at Richwoods, won the varsity boys division after edging out junior Court Bohannon of Washington High School on a playoff hole on Friday. Both finished tied at regulation at +4 over the 2-day tournament. JV winner was Will Snyder of Brimfield with a +6, and the girls division, Ella Truman of Effingham, was the winner there. Well, there's a new swimmer in town. Actually, she's lived here all of her life, but making her name in the state and national level. Cameron Gardner, who's 14, swims for the Peoria Area Water Wizards club team. In March, as a 13-year-old, she set an Illinois record for her age group in the 200 butterfly with a time of 2:02.15. Then later in the month, she broke her record at the National Club Swimming Association meet in Florida. She wowed the crowd with a meet record time of 2:46. That's almost 2 seconds shaved off of her time. She's a month away from joining the Peoria Notre Dame swim team, where she'll be undoubtedly compete in multiple events as a freshman. This girl's, you're going to be watching her. She will be probably performing at high levels very quickly. And at Wimbledon yesterday, the 2025 tournament ran from June 30th through July 13th. Iga Swiatek defeated Amanda Anisimova of Great Britain to become Poland's first Wimbledon singles champion woman, and Jannik Sinner of Italy triumphed over defending champion Carlos Alcaraz of Spain for the men's singles title, the first singles title won by an Italian ever in the male area. Wonderful. So good for them, and congratulations. And that Sinner and Alcaraz team, they're going to be playing each other for a long time,
aren't they?
It'll be fun to watch. And Roger, that's my sports.
There you have sports from John Meisinger. Yeah, you clarified that about Utes. Yeah.
Is it possible to two Utes to what? What was that word? What word? To what? What? Did you say Utes? Yeah, two Utes. What is a Ute? Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Two youths.
It's never not funny, is it?
You know, no matter, we played that 100 million times, I think, and it is funny.
Fred Gwynn's facial expressions in that video are just outstanding.
He was my favorite on
I always
that show.
see Herman Munster.
Well, everybody does, I think.
But as I recall, was he not undergoing cancer therapy during
Yeah,
the
that was his
filming of
last
that?
movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you'd never know it.
Was he in Car 54 as
Yeah, it's
well?
Car 54. Where are you?
That's right.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He and Al Lewis, and of course Al Lewis
Right.
wound up being grandpa on the.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a grandpa on the Munsters.
I didn't know
Really?
that's who
Mhm.
that was. Well, they've been a
The-
duel for
for a
couple of
long
different
time,
TV
yeah.
shows.
Wow.
then. Wow, me.
How old were you when you were a swimming coach at Manual? How old were you, and who taught you to swim, John?
How old was I when I learned to swim?
Yes.
Probably 4 or 5 years old.
Really? That yeah. Who
Oh, yeah.
taught you? Was it your dad?
Oh
Was it
no,
your mom, or was
no.
it a friend?
I had swim lessons, and the guy who taught me how to swim was Joe Uhouse. And Joe Uhouse was a coach. It was the Peoria High School swim coach back in the 50s and 60s, early 60s. And so he ran the pool at Ivy Club, and that's where I learned to swim. Was at that?
Was that
lessons
yeah?
there.
Ivy Club.
Yeah.
Ivy Club.
Yeah.
How about
Good
you?
deal.
How about you? When did you learn to swim?
I was probably about 10, 9 or 10. It was at Mount Holly Country Club,
Ooh,
and
Ooh, yeah, wealthy family.
we were there for a while, Dad, for business purposes. But anyway, the guy, first week was fine, he was in the water with me and taught me how to float. And I came back for the next lesson, and he'd cut his heel, terrible gash on his heel, and so he couldn't get in the water. So he's trying to give me lessons from the side of the pool.
That's
Needless
hard
to
to
say-
do with the little ones.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So I could probably get myself to shore if I had to, between dog paddling and floating and all that. I'm terrible at treading water. I have a terrible time. I know how you're supposed to do it, but it wears me out trying to do it. But so that's my experience with swimming lessons.
How about you, Terry?
Well, I
When
learned
did
in
you
the
learn?
creek out behind the house.
A crick?
The creek? No, it's a creek.
We called it
Yeah.
creek.
Depends on where you're from.
On a serious note, how old were you?
I don't know. I think 4 or 5. I don't.
Was it your father taught you, your
Yes.
mother?
No, it's my dad.
Mhm.
No.
How old were you, Colonel Ballard, when you learned to swim?
I'm not really sure. I remember playing
Oh,
around.
you notice he's got a mustache on now.
Yeah, we're just swimming.
Yeah. Holy cow. Well, look,
It's usually
you
the
look
first
very
thing here, but when I
distinguished.
walk in,
It's no shave May, or wait, July.
Boy, you grew that. Of course, you haven't been here for
Is that
a
stuck
month.
on a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, just peel it right off.
Yeah. Have the camera get a little. Oh, that's right. We
No,
can't,
we can't do
zoom,
that.
zoom in. But this is Colonel Ballard, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Good
Do
to
you
see
remember?
everybody.
Do you remember
Good to
when
see
you learned to swim?
I vividly remember a friend and I playing around in a pool, and he was showing me how he swam. But that was probably 8 or 10 years old, so I probably knew before then. I just don't remember when I actually learned.
That's basically how I learned.
Yeah,
You know, we used to have a swimming pool called the Glen Oak Pool in near Woodruff High School for many years. It was a great gathering place, and that's where I learned.
Glen Oak
And-
Lagoon?
No, not the lagoon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't get into the lagoon.
I don't
And
think
I
it's a
think the
lagoon.
lagoon is basically 4 feet. It's not a
Oh.
deep
Well, you
pool.
weren't that tall when you were 3 or 4.
No, I was a little kid, and then I used to play basketball at the YMCA, and then I'd finish by jumping into the pool. And they had, what was the name of the guy for many years was a lifeguard there?
Broadbeck was his last name.
Yeah, Broadbeck. Yeah,
Um,
he was an older gentleman. I said, "Tell me how you can swim the way you're supposed to swim, where you put your head in the water and then breathe and so forth. And he did his best. I could not do it. There is a technique, and why is that? Why? And that's the way you're supposed to swim, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean it's. I don't think it's
as opposed to driving.
as hard. It actually makes swimming much easier. So you fight the water when you got your head up.
Can you not swim? Are you not?
Oh, I can swim.
Oh, okay.
Well, now it's questionable whether I can do anything. You know, age has ways.
You learned at the Y?
No, I learned at the Glen Oaks Pool, but at the Y, I was asking. I'm trying to think what his first name was. Oh, he was an older guy, neat guy.
Yeah,
Broadback.
He was there forever. Yeah. But he's a Broadback, and I
we
think
swam naked down there, right?
Oh, all the time. Yes, that was. You didn't do that for lessons? I hope. Did you?
Do you know? Now
he's not answering now. He's avoiding this question.
That's not totally accurate. But there was a time when the YMCA was on Franklin Street, and you swam in the nude.
They swam in the nude on the one in Hamilton as well.
Did. Well, that was a certain group of people. No, I'm just
no.
I can tell you, I never swam. You're right; it was optional.
Matter of fact,
the backstroke looked really different.
It was, yes. Yeah, there was no control of where you were going because there was,
Colonel Mal Rudder.
No, there was no. It's my time for the day, guys.
To kind of moderate it doesn't go south.
There used to be a sign up that said nude swimming only on the sign at the pool. On YMCA on Hamilton. Yes, because I coached swimming there.
Well,
it was there when I was there.
Now I know why.
Somebody had taken something and scratched off the S and the G, and then it said nude women only.
Oh,
if
really?
Swimming, you take the S off the beginning and the G off the end. It says nude women.
So did that work?
No, it didn't.
Oh,
but anyway, it was. I found it to be very disturbing to swim.
Scratch that off.
I never personally. Listen, I'm not gonna. There's some sort of thing that I've got to protect myself.
I understand.
So I'm not going to answer those leading questions, Senator.
But I don't remember. Did they have a separate? Did women? I don't ever remember having.
No, there were no women in the pool.
No, that's why they call it the YMCA.
Yeah, but I had girls on the swim team.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Because the YWCA did have a pool.
They did. It was a small pool. And that's where my girls learned to swim. And my wife taught them to swim when they were 6 months old.
Wow.
She took them in the water. And that was, they had a class down there where you teach
6 months.
Teach babies how to, they teach them how to get in, move on, or roll over and move to the wall. I mean,
a lot of those classes now, they just literally chuck them in the pool and the
pretty much
just has to watch them survive.
Yeah,
I don't know how they get do that.
I don't know either.
It's more instinctive the younger you are. I think.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. This is, I think, allegedly a true story. Royce was a good athlete at anything and everything, but he could not swim. And he was a little embarrassed by it because most kids our age could swim,
Sure.
At least one length of the pool or whatever, but he couldn't. And I said, do you know, Royce, because of your size, your weight, and profile, and so forth, all you need to do is save yourself is roll over on your back and float. He would sink.
Yeah, some people aren't very buoyant.
He was not buoyant.
I'm one of those people.
Really? Yeah. But your profile is different than Royce's profile.
A little, but not much different anymore.
Oh yeah, there's a big difference. But he would, and he acknowledged that I would sink like a rock.
Yeah.
And I said, Royce, your best bet is to stay away from water.
Well, there was this lady who I had to save for my life-saving class, and she was every bit as big as Royce, but she was so buoyant. She was keeping me afloat when I was saving.
Yeah, you had.
Like, this is pretty easy.
Did it already?
This wasn't hard at all, but she was
fail that course.
Pardon me?
Has anybody ever failed that course?
Why do you keep looking at me? I never failed that
Has
course.
anybody ever drowned?
Well,
But
Also
on
there.
a serious note,
Mhm.
it's really a mistake at District 150 to drop swimming. Do you not?
Absolutely
agree
agree
with
with
that?
you. Totally agree.
Everybody should learn to swim.
That was
You went
that
to-
was the whole idea.
You went to Morton High School, I assume.
No, I grew up country school down near Decatur.
There in Decatur.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. And you probably didn't have a swimming pool in the school.
Yep, nope.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't swim down there. No
Was
more.
that Forsyth?
Staley had
Was that
black?
Was that Forsyth? school?
Argenta, Oriana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's real close to Forsyth, 4 or 5 miles just to the east.
Well,
Yeah.
I went to that school.
Yeah.
I did a show at that school.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the school is now closed.
Yeah, it's close to
You know.
it.
You were the last
Colonel
kid.
Ballard
That was it.
from the 182nd Airlift Wing is here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Thanks
to see
for-
everybody.
Good to have him here.
Yeah.
Nice to see him.
Can you swim?
Can I swim?
Yes.
Yeah, not very good.
Was it required as part of your training?
No, not at all. Well,
Uh,
I take that back. Yeah, when I did survival
I
training.
thought
Yeah.
you probably.
Yeah, they put you on the back of a boat and they tether you up, just like you'd see somebody at Panama City. They pay for it, and then they cut it, and then you got to float down, and then you have a survival kit. Then you have to be able to get the raft blown up.
In the ocean? Yeah, in the
Yeah,
ocean.
you're in the Pensacola out in the bay.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Using it for hours, just surviving, doing light signals and radio calls and all that kind of stuff.
is that where you went to school down at Pensacola? Did you?
That course is only 2 weeks.
Oh,
So that's the only time I ever officially went to training down there.
okay.
Yeah,
Did you enjoy that?
had a blast.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, just swim in the middle of the summer in Pensacola Bay. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
A lot of girls there
is-
too, aren't there?
Well, not in my class.
Not in your
but,
class, no. And they need
Yeah. Boots, and you're wearing a helmet, so it's not like you're just.
right. Just enjoying the right.
Is the
People are
Pensacola base now open for everything?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because it was closed to COVID-19. We used to go when we go to Gulf Shores in the summertime over and watch the Blue Angels practice.
Sure.
And I don't know whether you had that opportunity or not, but you're almost on the runway. I mean, the bleachers you sit
They're
on,
right there.
they're
Yeah.
right there,
Uh-huh.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
fun.
they put on, and they're not putting on a show. They're actually practicing
Which is a
their
show to
routine,
us, right?
which is a show to
Yes,
us.
that's right.
You're exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah. Any thought that just something you would like to do?
Anything I would like to do? Or-
No,
Yeah, fly the Blue
Fly the
Angels.
Blue Angels.
Well, sure. Who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
That'd be neat to do.
Well, I wouldn't.
That comes
Yeah.
back pretty quick, though.
I mean, honestly, no. I talked about that before. Whenever you go through jet training, you do all the aerobatics and stuff like that. And I went into it after I'd been flying helicopters and an airline pilot. So flying, just very calmly across the sky was perfectly content with me. And then I started doing all those where you're doing barrel rolls upside down, pulling the G's under. I'm like, no, I really don't want to do this. So
Yeah.
ego, yes, it'd be cool to learn to do, and maybe
Yeah.
say you did, but my body has no desire to do it.
Did you throw up? Did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't throw up. You get nauseous every once in a while because in Del Rio, Texas, it's 120 degrees and there's no air conditioning in that thing. You're just waiting till the aircraft gets going so that vent air comes in there and blows on you.
Well, let me
That's
ask
the
you-
cooling you have. So
Let
it
me
gets
ask
hot.
you a question. What's the most G's that you pulled in the cockpit?
I think it's 7, something like
7, really?
that. Yeah, and you really have
That's
to.
a lot.
Yeah, you have to do a maneuver where you're
10, you
you're
die,
basically
don't you?
holding your breath and you're letting air out because what you're trying to do is keep the blood in your head. So you're flinching everything you have with your flying all the way up your legs, your belly.
You blow up
Arms.
arms, don't you?
Well, the aircraft I was flying, I think the max was like 7.5 or something like that. So you
Oh,
could
it's
get
more than
close
that.
to
You
it.
can't
Yeah.
tell us. I know it's a secret.
I passed out. I don't remember.
I get nausea doing this program sometimes. I don't have to pull G's.
I don't believe you can see. Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you fly any jets at Pensacola?
No, it wasn't Pensacola. I did it at Del Rio, Texas.
Oh, okay. Because I was saying, I would early in the morning go out and fish on the beach, and I remember one morning, it was mid morning, so it wasn't early morning, and I saw this plane, this jet, Air Force plane, coming. I don't think it was a Blue Angel, but at any rate, he was by before I heard the sound. It was just, and we had in the morning we had breakfast or lunch and talked about it. What there's a limit to how low you can fly, even on the beaches of Gulf Shores. Is that not true?
Yeah, there's limitations. It's Over the water's different than over the land. It depends on the airspace.
Yeah.
So it's they get pretty low anyway, though. I know.
You know why you saw them first before you heard, because light travels faster than sound, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
It's just I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you've been throwing a lot out this morning, as a matter of fact.
We can't say what it was, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what it was, for that matter. But, well, Colonel Ballard, we're going to talk, I hope, intellectually in the next portion of our program.
That's a lot to ask.
And we'll start with the news. And our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For all your investment needs, call Bob. You can reach Bob Manning at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Here's Terry with our news.
A Sunday shooting in Lexington, Kentucky has left 2 women dead and 2 others injured, as well as a state trooper. The gunman is dead, say police. The suspect shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport and then went to a Baptist church where he opened fire, killing the 2 women and wounding 2 men before he was fatally gunned down. No motive for the shootings has been determined. Most of the weekend news focused on the attempted assassination of President Trump a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That and the screw-up of protection, or more accurately, lack thereof, by Secret Service agents. Helen Competore wasted no words for the agency, calling it garbage. Her husband died from a bullet fired by 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks, intended for the president. The agents were blasted for being inside the building while Crooks lay waiting on the roof. He managed to get off 8 shots in 6 seconds before he was killed by Secret Service snipers. Senator Rand Paul believes there's been a cultural cover-up of the assassination attempt. The latest investigative report says the Trump White House made more than 10 requests for additional protective resources, and all were denied or ignored by the Secret Service. Heavy rains have hampered the efforts of recovery teams in central Texas. The latest death toll is at 129, with more than 170 listed as missing. Meanwhile, Democrats are attacking Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, claiming there has been a slow response by FEMA to help survivors of the flood. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded the resignation of Noem. The secretary said she could care less what Senator Warren wants. President Trump held a news conference with Texas officials who praised the quick response from Trump and the federal government. The battle of tariffs continues with the president announcing 30% tariffs against the European Union and Mexico. Trump said the tariffs would begin August 1st. The president is seeking a better balance between the countries, pointing out exports from this country are heavily taxed in Europe and Mexico. We've been on the short end of trade deficits for years, Trump said. It's time for a change. In local news, tomorrow is the big day for the start of this year's Heart of Illinois Fair. The annual event at Expo Gardens runs from Tuesday through Saturday. No word from fair officials, but this could be the last fair due to the sale of 70 acres of Expo Gardens land to the city of Peoria for a planned housing development. There's also been a decline in fair attendance. Most, if not all, of the livestock events have been canceled, and again this year, no carnival. A group of people gathered over the weekend to protest violence in the city. They marched from City Hall to Matthew Street calling for the shootings to end. Some of the speakers said there's a need for more community resources for young people and better education. The march was sponsored by the Next Level Academies, which is a nonprofit organization that recently received a state grant of $325,000 in support of vocational training programs. And heads up, the McLuggage Bridge will be closed this evening from 7 to 9 p.m. Workers will be blowing up some concrete piers during that time. Drivers will have to utilize the downtown bridges of Murray Baker, Bob Michael, and Cedar Street. No word on whether the carp will be affected. Get down there with your nets and catch some carp.
No, that's right. All right, now we have a check of the weather with our good friend, Terry.
Oh, thank you, friend. Little fog mist this morning until about 10 o'clock this morning. Was it foggy out?
So it's foggy, yeah.
Is it foggy? Is it dense or fog mist?
It was dense in Morton when I left. It lightened up a little bit.
Okay. Tonight,
Yeah,
like
particularly on 155. Or did you just jump on at 74 probably?
No, 55.
Yeah.
55.
It was pretty heavy on it.
Did you see any cows on the road?
No, it's too much fog.
Do you speed a lot when you drive your car? I mean, you're used to going fast and
I would
planes.
say typically, but now I bought my brother's hybrid car, so I'm trying to see how much I can increase the miles per gallon. So I'm driving like a geezer.
But you used to speed a lot.
I'm not immune to it.
Yeah, I know. I know the stories.
What is his first confessions?
So then tell me, my son. It'll be sunny today.
Eat your cookie and get back on track.
This guy's going to do, frankly speaking. I usually can tell when he's off his medication.
Probably Claudia Low 67.
How many guys would give the weather? Start the weather by taking a bite out of a cookie. Your mother, but your mother, you don't listen to him or your mother. Did your mother tell you never to talk while you're eating?
All right, tomorrow.
Are you in the helicopter or what?
Yeah,
I-89.
that was good.
Partly cloudy tomorrow night, low 72. Hey, Wednesday, mostly sunny, chance for afternoon showers
having difficulty.
and thunderstorms. Well, choke. High 92 on Wednesday. That's going to be some hot rain. Tuesday, partly sunny, high 88. Possible rain. Friday, another mild July day with sunshine and high 84. Right now, 71 degrees and dense fog.
22 degrees Celsius, right?
I don't know Celsius. Do you find Celsius?
Thanks.
I think that's a waste. Why? I don't even know why they do it.
Okay.
Does anyone here know what's?
No, I don't, but I do know the weather brought to you by Steve Singh, probably for the last time. He's the managing partner of PHX Affiliates. He knows business. He's been a broker for over 20 years. And if you're interested in buying or maybe selling your business, get a hold of Steve Singh at 309-696-8508. We're talking with the commanding officer, the 182nd Airlift Wing, and that's Colonel Rusty Ballard. Where you been? You missed last week, so is it confidential, or can you share?
Well, it was family vacations.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'd like to ask you where you went.
Okay, I'd be happy to tell you.
Okay,
we went to San Francisco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good trip. I haven't been there in years, and my wife and kids had been there, so I want to bring them out there for about 10 days.
Now, is it as bad as the media has shown with some of the video of the homeless and public?
It wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
All right.
It really wasn't.
I mean,
there's like a block or two downtown that was kind of stood out, but compared to like Sacramento, Oakland, San Diego, LA places I've been were way worse than what I saw in San Francisco. Yeah, it was a wonderful visit overall. All the things, the weather.
What'd you do?
Just, everything. We did all the tourist stuff. So we did Alcatraz, the Redwood Forest, Napa Valley, Sonoma, Oakland.
Oakland, you actually went to Oakland?
Yeah, we went to Berkeley, drove on the campus, and there's parts of Oakland that are very pretty on top of the mountains, the ridgeline, looking down on the bay and everything. Yeah, it's really pretty.
Sausalito, did you get to Sausalito?
Sausalito went there, yes.
Where you went? How long were you there? A month?
About 10 days.
Wow. Did you do Lombard Street?
We did Lombard Street, yeah. We did all the big parks, drove down Highway 1. Drove across the mountains, went to Stanford for the day, and
you see Chuck and Nancy?
I don't know who Chuck and Nancy are.
I don't either.
You don't know the Pelosi's, huh?
Oh,
they were.
I did see the picture a couple places.
Fisherman's Wharf.
We went there. We went. No, we didn't. Presidio. We went there downtown.
Did you get Sundays at Ghirardelli's?
We didn't. We drove by there. We did not go there. Yeah.
How about did you get on the trolley car?
No, we saw that.
Oh, yeah.
I asked kids if they want to do that. They were more interested in doing the driverless Uber, though, the Waymos.
Oh, yeah.
And the cars with sensors all over it. We didn't do it. But that was the one request my daughter had. I'm like,
well, then I think that'd drive you nuts. That'd be control of something.
There's nobody there?
No. You can sit behind the wheel.
Yeah, nobody sits behind the wheel. There's just on the back, and the wheel turns, and it's just regular.
No kidding. Yeah. You did that, or
we did? My daughter wanted to, but we never got around to it. They also have one was like a glass cube. and it's like has like a horse and carriage benches like facing each other in the back, and that's it. The glass cube just driving around.
Wow.
No,
It's eerie seeing it.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll
ready
bet.
for
And I can't believe they get away with it, honestly, because you look at all the safety
Well,
standards with
it's-
airbags and
Yeah, but in San
liability.
Francisco, California, that's a nutty state. I mean,
There's no doubt about that.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no doubt.
What was your favorite
Yes.
meal?
Mm,
Did you go to where they cook in front of you?
no, we didn't
Oh,
do
okay.
that. A lot of stuff we just
So
bought
you didn't.
groceries.
So you didn't go to Steak and Shake.
No, we didn't have Steak and Shake.
Inside, it must be right.
Must be.
Yeah. How'd you happen to decide to go to San Francisco? Did you draw straws or
No,
what
we
was the
always, when
appeal?
kids were little, like find a different angle or direction, just go and figure something out. We were going to go to London. That was kind of the main goal.
Oh,
Okay, just kept one reason or another, just didn't work out. And so,
well,
hey, guys have never been to San Francisco.
now-
Let's go there.
Now, how long did it take, and how many, and where did they sit when you took your C-130 to California?
Yeah, how did you get out for 10 days?
Did
Well, we
you-
put our personal cars on there. We, you know,
You could salute the base and take off with the blessings. Yeah,
yeah,
and
government's fuel. It was great.
Oh,
Great time.
wow.
Wow, good for you.
Well, it sounds like you had
Happy
a
for
wonderful time. How many in your family? How many children do you have?
4. I have one's a senior in college and one's a senior in high school.
Wonderful. And they all went out.
And me and my wife.
Thank you.
Family, right?
4 children too.
Four, yeah.
Well, I'm not claiming the other 2 apparently.
Oh,
And they all went with you.
They did, yeah. We kind of looked at it as maybe the last time we'd have
Yeah, I was
a
going
full
to say.
summer vacation before my daughter graduates and has a job.
As
and
they get
flexibility.
they don't have that allegiance for family that they did when
Yeah,
they
it's
were
natural. They should.
Yeah, yeah,
I was surprised to get all 4 of us together for this.
Yeah.
Worked out well.
yeah.
and you guys didn't fight at all? You didn't?
No, you know, now it's easy. We never really did fight, but if you're tired or exhausted,
These are
you
daughters, right?
a son and a daughter.
Oh, wow.
And it's more fun watching
They're
them
that
bicker
age,
than
though.
anything, and they don't bicker; they just pick on each other. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
man, they're clever when they can pick on each other.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good question to ask, Dr.
And they're
Phil.
adults. now,
Yeah,
too. That's how-
military matters. Don't matter. Mind for that.
Got a military question.
All right.
When
We'll let you lead off,
when
Doctor.
well, thank you. When you went there, there's some places that you have to pay to go. Did you pull the? I'm Colonel Ballard. Did you pull that? When you,
Yes, because it goes so far. Yes. Just like when I'm at home and I say, "Listen, I'm the man of the house."
Yeah, works real well.
works great. Go ahead, Raj. Your question.
Yeah, thank you. That was really
Military related, right?
Yeah.
Just checking.
I wanted to ask you if, when there's an air tragedy, do you follow it closely to learn what they're doing, what they're asking? As an example, there's an investigation going on now about the terrible crash of Air India. And I think that what's come out so far is the belief that it was due to pilot error. Have you been following that, and what thoughts do you have?
Typically, I kind of see it and I kind of guess what I think it is, but then I kind of back off of it because everybody in the media has a guess or a thought, and they don't have an educated background to really realistically. And it kind of frustrates me. I've been trained as a board president to go into those and do an extra investigation, so I kind of know what it takes to get it going, to understanding all the things they have to do research. So I try to keep my mind out of it as much as I can until now, when things start coming out and you get all the facts, then it makes a lot more sense to me. But yeah, we look at them, we talk about it. Hey, how could that happen to us? Where are those places during our flights that this could happen to us, even if we don't know what the answer is that actually caused the incident? So yes, we do that. Now we're seeing what they're talking about. Tentatively, the fuel cutoff switches were
Yeah, they were off, and the co-pilot, as I recall, asked the pilot, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that because I've flown the Boeing 757. We have those exact same cutoff switches.
Well, you do.
They can't just go back. You have to lift them up and pull them back. So I don't know. I don't know how that could have happened if that's the cause. They don't just pop back. It's not mechanical. It's not electrical. They can even do that unless that aircraft is different. And I know a guy in Morton that flies them. I'm going to ask him. But yeah. I would guess, and I hate guessing it, but that someone would have done that if that's the cause.
What exactly is the black box?
It's a recorder. Basically, it's a computer that records data for the last. They're all different. There's a requirement with the minimum. Say for the last 4 hours, it will record everything: the fuel flow, the power, the altitude, the speed, all that stuff, and it's constantly recording it. And so if it crashes, then once you get that box or that recorder computer, then has the last 4 hours or whatever that time is of data, and they can look at that.
Every single aircraft has that.
Not every aircraft. If it's a commercial aircraft, yes.
Oh, yours does. Well, you have.
We have some. Yeah, we have
secrets.
a flight data recorder. Yeah,
That
it doesn't get all the data, the exact same data as a commercial one would.
Does it have any audio in the black box? Oh, really? So you can hear what the pilots were saying probably prior to the crash.
You'll hear the transmissions from the air traffic control. You hear everybody that's on the radio that they can hear, that they have the radio set to. They'll hear it. They also have the transponder, what radars are pinging their aircraft, so they're trying to see where they're at. ADSB data, so other aircraft that are communicating with it. So it has all that data. TCAS, traffic collision avoidance system. So we have a little screen there that shows all the aircraft within 40 miles of you. And it'll show you the speed and rate that it's coming at you and so forth. So
where's that located?
What's that?
In the glove compartment.
In the glove box?
No, I don't know. Where is the box located?
It varies. I mean,
why don't they make the plane out of it, whatever they make that box out? Because that box always survives the
it's hermetically sealed.
Why don't they make the whole plane out of that damn thing?
But back to the original question.
Okay.
Where is it located? You said
it varies. It varies where it's at. Sometimes they have it in the tail of the aircraft. Sometimes it's in an avionics compartment. So it just depends where it's going to be least affected.
Do you think there was an argument between the pilot and the co-pilot?
No, but conspiracy theory has me thinking, because I think one of the things I read on there said, the question, why did you move the ground switches? The other was, I did not move them. And it almost sounded like it was typed out, which tells me they know they're being recorded. Every time you fly, you have a cockpit voice recorder or flight data recorder. If I was going to do something deliberately, and I hate to say that, but that's what I would do. I did not touch those.
No,
if I did it on purpose,
Well, what would be the reason he did that?
They happen. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, it's very, very rare, but I believe it was Air France that was going down to South America. Well, there was a guy that, and I can't remember, but it was about the same time frame as that, where someone was basically committing suicide, and he took everybody down with him. And so
really,
yeah.
Oh, gee,
very rare. And I'm not.
No,
I shouldn't go there, but I'm. But not make that judgment initially,
right?
And we were terrible about it, and President Trump did not help with the helicopter and the airplane in D.C. There were so many variables there that had no idea, and they did not do anything that they wanted to happen that day. It happened. They made some poor decisions, but you don't know that until you actually get the data back. And
but they respond by now making a larger no-fly zone for helicopters at that airport.
They from what I understand, they reiterate what you're supposed to do and not do. They let it encroach. They were doing everything right, but sometimes they let that get too close to the airport. And then when was pilot error where they say, "Hey, yeah, I see the traffic in sight," but he was looking at another one that was coming. He wasn't looking at the one right there.
He didn't see the other one.
Yeah, so for some reason.
Yeah, and yet they're supposed to have those systems, alarm systems, when you get within a certain area.
Not all aircraft have them.
Oh.
And if they had one on the tower, they could say, "Yeah, it's flashing light. Okay, hey, helicopter, do you see that airplane? Yep, I see it. Okay. Well, he did. He saw a different one.
Yeah,
and also he was going. I believe it was a check ride for the co-pilot. And hey, you're too far left. Get to the right. Well, when you say that, you give them 2 times before you take the controls and do it. So he probably said it the first time, got interrupted. Hey, go back to the right. Hey, helicopter, you see the airplane? So he pauses. He looks. Yeah, I see airplane. Looks okay. Did the co-pilot move? Oh, hey, you're supposed to. Then it was too late. So it's not like it happens just like a script. You get interrupted. Things happen. They were flying with night vision goggles, where it's the size of 2 glowing quarters. So you lose all of your peripheral vision.
Do that again. What?
I mean, when you're flying with night vision goggles, it's this big in front of your eyes. Your field of view is only 40 degrees in front of you. You don't get the normal.
You don't get the peripheral.
So he has to turn his head and his shoulders away, and however long that takes.
Oh wow!
How long it is. So there's a lot of variables.
Yeah,
a lot of things happening there.
Yeah.
Were you flying around the C-130s yesterday? Were you piloting? Before my house. I was just wondering.
No, no.
How about did the C-130s have a flyover on Red, White, and Boone?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was ours.
You do that.
We
Did
saw
you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was on vacation, but one of
He was in
friends
San
did it.
Francisco doing the flyover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For that matter. Kind of tell us a little bit about where some of the people in the 182nd are overseas or at least out of town.
Yeah, no, this is kind of like the annual training of the summer where everybody comes in, they go do their skills for 2 weeks. We have people in Wisconsin, Hawaii, San Diego.
Assigned to Hawaii,
Yeah.
I'm interested in joining.
Yeah, it's a place to be.
A couple of months and then quit. Yeah. What's in Hawaii?
Well, we have civil engineers on base, so constructions, plumbing, heating, air conditioning, carpenters.
Are they
And they're out there building
on
cabins.
weekends?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're working for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're building some cabins out in Hawaii. Last year they did it in Vancouver, up in British Columbia.
Really?
Wow, you're talking about neat places. You know, they say,
B&B units?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a side business for us.
Say, yeah, they used to say join the Navy and see the world, join the Air Force or the National Guard and see the world.
Yeah, yeah.
How about the ones really overseas, like in the Middle East?
Yeah.
You got any units over
We
there?
have some folks in Middle East, and we have them in Europe. We have some in Africa. So we have 2 in Antarctica. Trying to remember all. We have people all over the world. We're just constantly moving.
Isn't that, or is that part of your recruiting information with people thinking about joining us? Is in addition to a trade or a position or an occupation, you're going to have an opportunity to travel perhaps all over the world.
Yeah,
I'd hit the Hawaii thing hard.
Yeah, yeah. Then it won't happen for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and mostly obviously the air crews and maintenance, they're the ones that get to travel the most because that's part of their job. So a lot of folks that are in the aviation business, if you will, they don't get to go as much as they want to. So, when I go do town halls and I talk to the different units, hey, what is it you want? What aren't you getting? What, your expectations? And, a lot of times I'll get something like that. Hey, we don't get to travel. I'm like, you guys go to British Columbia last summer and you're going to Hawaii this summer? Yeah, but that's not enough. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I was in the Army for 11 years. I went to
11
Wisconsin
years?
every summer. That's all I did.
Was that McCoy?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I had a blast. I enjoyed doing what I was doing. So being facetious, but
Yeah.
I always felt like a dog on a leash. I could go 2 hours away in a helicopter, and that's all I could go. So to be in a C-130, it's like, go anywhere. I love it. Yeah.
Speaking of the C-130, give us an update on the new ones that you're going to get someday in the near future.
Hopefully in the someday. It should be this time next year. We should have a couple on the ramp at least. We'll keep flying the H model up until October, November timeframe. And then we'll set those down. We'll start retooling our maintenance. We'll start retraining the air crews and getting the base ready for, we'll have to get a new hangar, which I won't have for another 4 or 5 years. And then, then the aircraft are going to come. We'll start getting people back from training, the instructor pilots and instructor loadmasters, the trainers and maintenance, and they'll teach all the young folks or people that didn't go to training yet, how do you work on the new aircraft?
It's brand new.
These will be brand new.
They're going to park it outside for 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference between what you're getting and what you have now?
Yeah, to the naked eye, it looks about the exact same.
Really?
Yeah, it's not going to be outside.
A new paint job and
big
and exactly right.
Maybe a red or a blue.
Yeah. It will be shiny, look the exact same.
You won't be to the average person, and we're pretty average here.
Yeah, that's Peoria. Welcome home.
They'll look the same. Huh?
Yeah, look about the exact same. You won't really
Okay.
tell. It's 2 pallet positions longer, so maybe about 10 to 12 feet. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, it's hard for me even to tell if it's in flight, if it's that much longer or not. You can't really tell. The props are very similar to the propellers that we have on the aircraft right now. Same aircraft, same size, same amount of windows on it. So it's not going to be
Not
that
a
big of a
big
difference. Yeah. To the air crews, it's drastically different. It's a completely different aircraft. You'll do the same mission. You'll do it with less people, and you'll do it with different controls and different computers and so forth like that. But it'll accomplish the exact same.
Will it take regular or ethyl gas?
It'll take whatever you put in it.
Yeah, yeah. No matter.
Have
you
electric airplane? You're not the
Not yet.
planes yet.
are there other new aircraft elsewhere in the country? And if so, have you had an opportunity to fly it?
New aircraft, a new C-130. Have I an opportunity for
What,
C-130J?
what you're getting, has that plane been produced for other air bases?
Yes.
And they have received them.
Yeah, all active duty switched over to the C-130J probably
Okay.
about 5 to 10 years ago.
Oh, really? So it's not that new of a plane.
No, it's
then,
been
is
out for
it?
30 years.
Oh, you're
But
kidding.
they're still making brand new.
But you're trading in a 40-year-old plane for a 30-year-old plane?
No,
No.
our planes were built in 92 to 95.
Oh.
Ours are going to be built in 2026, 2025. So they're a lot newer. The technology that's when it hit the line 30 years ago.
Well, so then, are we talking? Let's take hopefully an intellectual analogy. If the stealth airplane,
It's going to be a reach.
is the stealth plane today that they're producing? I'm sure they're producing them regularly. Is it the same as the year it was first introduced? Or have they made updates? Because my understanding is the Stealth is one of the world's leading aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
No other country has what we have in the Stealth.
Yeah, that's what a block upgrade is. So you come up with an aircraft, you produce it. Well, then technology increases or comes out new. Then you get the second block model or third block model or 737-800. Well, they started off with a 737-100. Then you have the 200, 300. So anytime you get upgrade, they're going to upgrade the fleet altogether. They have a new block upgrade. So same with this. Yeah.
So everything upgrades.
Everything
at the
upgrades.
same time that they find it. So in other words, you got a 95 Crown Vic, right?
Yep.
And with all the upgrades.
With all the upgrades.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Shiny rims, new air conditioning.
That's right. And nitrogen in the tires.
GPS navigation. You have all that good stuff.
Do you do this yourself on base when you get the plane? When do you stencil your name on the side of the plane?
We don't do that.
You guys don't do that?
No.
Nobody else seen too many movies.
Do you have a pilot name? Do you have a?
Do I have a call sign?
Yeah, a call sign.
I do, but I mean,
you share that with us?
Trombone is what it used to be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, RT is what people would call me. RT, yeah. But I mean, that's trombone.
You were known as the trombone.
It was a joke, but it was a funny joke.
So you don't have trombone?
No,
on the
no,
planes?
not at all. No.
On the
Getting back to
I keep saying no, and he's going to keep asking.
Back to some intelligence. Have you flown the new version?
I've been on it. I've sat on it, but no, I've not been at the flight controls. Yeah.
So, but everything will be the same. Takeoff, landing will take more runway to take off
that's
on.
going to be about the same. That's probably part of the requirement. It's got to be short takeoff and landing capable. It's got to be airdrop capable, formation capable, and yeah, so it's fit in the same hangars, the same engine stands. All those kind of things are very similar.
Mm-hmm. What's the shortest runway you've ever landed at?
And we have a limitation 3,000 feet.
You need 3,000
yeah,
feet.
so when we do our planning factors, we go to a dirt runway or whatever house has to be 3,000 feet. And we can usually land in the first 500 feet and you can stop within 1,500. But then when you need to take off again, that's when you need the 3,000.
To take off. But you need more if you've got a full load, though.
Mm-hmm. But with full load, we can do it with that.
Yeah. And what were the typical landings in Afghanistan or Iraq? With
there's 3,000. I mean, you go to major airports where they 10 or 12,000 feet, plenty of room. But then if they had to carve a runway out in the middle of the desert or side of a mountain, then they had to have 3,000 feet. If not, we would go from the air-land option to where we'd airdrop the cargo.
Yeah. Did the runways have lights to give you an indication? Is that one of the purpose of lights is to give you an idea of how much more land you have before you better be in the air?
Not there typically. I mean, we'll have
how about
some lights.
Airport?
Yeah, absolutely. There, every 1,000 feet, it's given you how many
thousand the airport is.
Right. I mean that's why you have lights on the runway. Sure.
Yeah, so you know where it is. Yeah.
But a lot of times you don't have that overseas. Whenever it's all blacked out, you don't have that. You may have something to show you where the 4 lights, like you need to land right here. And with night vision goggles, you can kind of make it out, and you have other people helping you identify it.
Have you ever landed at one where there were signs that said Burma Shave? You remember going down 150 to Champaign, and you would see those Burma Shaves.
You still see some of them.
Yeah, I saw them the other day, but it had a political statement to it. which I thought was neat. But you don't see that anywhere where you've been.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Say with the news about what's going on in the European Union, are you looking forward to returning to Poland and Germany?
Sure. Yeah, I'm going there in September. Yeah.
September to Germany or Poland?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anything else to report this morning before we start sampling your wife's chocolate chip cookies?
You don't have bombs on your plane.
We do not. No.
Okay. You have guns?
No, not unless you're carrying them. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you guys carry?
Yeah. Whenever you're flying, you do. Some air crew members do. Yep.
What the pilots carry? When they...
No, and we're trained to. You can. Like when we're deployed overseas, we all do.
What do you carry?
It depends on where they happen. It's 9mm. Is what it is.
Glock.
No, it's not a Glock. There's multiple. We came up with a new one. I can't even tell you what kind it is.
I'll bring it in next time.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Okay. And this portion of the program brought to you by Ray's Gun Shop. Spokesperson is Terry Growy. Ballard, thanks for coming in, and especially thank you, our lovely bride, for the chocolate chip cookies. We need to keep our weight up.
Here to help.
And,
stay warm.
We'll see you next month.
Good seeing everybody.
You bet. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Tom.
Sports coming in next on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in wonderful Peoria, Illinois. And welcome everybody on YouTube as well. You know, it never fails that when Colonel Ballard is on, I feel like it's a White House briefing. You know, we're getting inside scoop on everything.
He is good.
He is good, isn't he?
Very good.
And it helps that he brings in
Treats
as well from his lovely bride. Anyway, let's check out the weather today, and it's brought to you by your hometown community banks, Division of Morton Community Bank. They have 46 friendly hometown locations throughout central Illinois, providing a variety of financial services. Look for the clock tower, and you know they have time for you. Member FDIC.
He should bring in his wife next time. Don't you think? I'd like to meet her.
Oh, I'd like to meet her
She
too.
makes,
I don't think she would like to meet us,
No,
other
probably
than
not.
Terry.
dense
She'd be
fog,
happy to-
a little fog mist
Yes,
this
you
morning
are.
until about 10 o'clock. Otherwise, sunny and 87 today. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. It was a wonderful evening last night. Really, really pleasant out. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 89.
Well, thank you for that.
Hardly. Well, I mean, because it's coming up again.
Mhm.
Tonight will be nice.
Nice and muggy.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be muggy. It's going to be low 67, and the humidity won't be bad. It'll be a wonderful
Okay,
evening.
good.
Partly cloudy tomorrow night, low 72. That'll also be a lovely evening. Wednesday, mostly sunny, chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high 92. That'll suck. Thursday, partly sunny, high 88.
Went from lovely to that'll be suck. What kind of a web is this?
Possible rain. Friday, another mild July day with sunshine and a high of 84. Right now, it's 71 at the Wazoo, Roger.
And thank you. Now, let's check the news brought to you by Kyle Barnold, eager to serve you with free, that word is free, reviews of your insurance plans for auto, homeowners, health, and life coverages. He does that to make sure you're receiving the right insurance at the right cost. No obligation for this free service from Kyle, and you can find out more by a phone number, 309-682-0519.
A Sunday shooting in Lexington, Kentucky has left 2 women dead and 2 others injured, as well as a state trooper. The gunman is dead, say police. The suspect shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport and then went to a Baptist church where he opened fire, killing the women and wounding 2 men before he was fatally gunned down. No motive for the shootings has been determined.
Well, most of the weekend news focused on the attempted assassination of President Trump a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That and the screw-up of protection or lack of it by Secret Service agent. Helen Comparator wasted no words for the agency, calling it garbage. Her husband, as you know, died from a bullet fired by 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks, intended for the president. The agents were blasted for being inside the building while Crooks lay waiting on the roof. He managed to get off 8 shots in 6 seconds before he was killed by a Secret Service sniper.
Senator Rand Paul believes there's been a cultural cover-up of the assassination attempt. The latest investigative report says the Trump White House made more than 10 requests for additional protective resources, and all were denied or ignored by the Secret Service.
Heavy rains have hampered the efforts of recovery teams in central Texas. The latest death toll is 129, with more than 170 listed as missing. Meanwhile, Democrats are attacking Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, claiming there's been a slow response by FEMA to help survivors of the floods. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded the resignation of Noem. The secretary said she could care less what Senator Warren said. President Trump held a news conference with Texas officials who praised the quick response from Trump and the federal government.
The battle of tariffs continues, with the president announcing 30% tariffs against the European Union and Mexico. Trump said the tariffs would begin August 1st. The president is seeking a better balance between the countries, pointing out exports from this country are heavily taxed in Europe and Mexico. We've been on the short end of trade deficits for years, Trump said. It's time for a change.
In local news, tomorrow's the big day for the start of this year's Heart of Illinois Fair. The annual event at Expo Gardens runs from Tuesday through Saturday. No word from fair officials, but this could be the last fair due to the sale of 70 acres of the Expo Garden land to the city of Peoria for planned housing development. There's also been a decline in fair attendance. Most, if not all, of the livestock events have been canceled. And again this year, no carnival.
Have you ever performed at the fair?
No, not at this one.
What does that mean?
I performed at other fairs.
Oh, okay.
The Illinois State
Right.
Fair. I performed at
Really? Down in Springfield.
They're down.
Top notch. Nice going.
Well, it's okay.
Any other news?
Yes. A group of people gathered over the weekend to protest violence in the city. They marched from City Hall to Matthew Street, calling for the shootings to end. Some of the speakers said there's a need for more community resources for young people and better education. The march was sponsored by the Next Level Academies, which is a nonprofit organization that recently received a state grant of $325,000 in support of vocational training programs.
If you need to get across the river, don't do it tomorrow between 7 and 9 p.m. on the McCluggage Bridge. It'll be closed.
Yeah, if you try it, you'll get there a lot quicker.
It's tonight.
Well, you get somewhere a lot quicker.
It's tonight?
Tonight.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
You said
Tomorrow.
but it's
Oh, no, it's tonight.
tonight.
It's not. Yeah, it's tonight. I'm sorry. So drivers, take Murray Baker, Bob Michaels, Cedar. We'll take one of those if you got to get across the river.
Yeah,
No.
you can take the bridge. There's a bridge in Henry, is it? Henry? Lake?
That's City by
Oh,
Dam site.
yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Lakin.
Lakin.
That's a long way to go.
But I bet it was a little closer, but
Yeah,
that's
Lakin's
not
closer than Henry. It's 17, I believe, right? So,
Mhm.
so Lakin. Anyway, don't go to the bridge this evening. It'll be
Between 7 and 9.
7. They're going to blow it up. They're going to blow up the columns. Some fish.
Yeah.
No, off the bridge? No. Oh,
Some old columns.
columns.
I think unless we screws up.
Oh,
I, they blew up the new bridge.
nuts.
Yeah, another reason not to be watchful of GPS.
That's true.
You know, GPS is not perfect,
No.
is it?
I wonder if they'll have that because sometimes for what are they called, detours and stuff, it will come up on your GPS. I wonder how accurate. I'll have to put that in tonight if I remember that around 7:30ish. See if it'll take me across.
You know, one of the reasons I asked Colonel Ballard the difference between the old and the new C-130, because I heard the new ones will have GPS and the old ones don't.
That can't be true. That cannot be true. I'm
Well,
sure.
always out. Okay.
Yeah.
What if they play by sight?
You know, the old ones they use
That's fine.
you know, he said those goggles were the size of quarters.
Get 40 degree.
Night vision.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
terrible.
You can't let a lot of light in. That defeats purpose. I mean, that's
Well, thank you, Doctor.
very, very well.
And that's news. Let's see. Let's see if
The news. It is the news for tonight.
when it's news to you, it's news to us. And now more from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm John Norton. A state grant means Tazewell County's election process is getting a technology upgrade. Clerk John Ackerman says a $360,000 grant from the State Board of Elections allows his office to purchase new voter registration software and electronic poll books for every precinct in the county.
These electronic poll pads have all of the voters' information on there. A copy of their signatures so that election judge can match signature, their address, what ballot style they should have.
Ackerman said that information was previously printed on paper poll books, approximately 93,000 sheets per election. The new equipment will be in use for the first time in the November 2026 primary election. Tucked into President Trump's big, beautiful bill making 2017 tax cuts permanent is an affordable housing tax credit. Central Illinois Congressman Darren LaHood says it will reduce the high interest and construction materials cost barriers to building new housing.
We'll create 12 to 15,000 new housing units in Illinois in the next 2 years here.
LaHood says in return for the 13 to 14% tax break, developers have to keep rents affordable for 15 years. He says that could make a meaningful difference in the area housing shortage. LaHood says the affordable housing tax credit first came about during the Reagan administration, but has not been reactivated much since then. And hospital officials in Illinois are warning that many of them may have to cut services, lay off workers, or even go out of business due to impending cuts in federal Medicaid funding. Capital News Illinois reports that Illinois is expected to lose about $48 billion in Medicaid funding over the next 10 years. That's due to passage of President Trump's domestic policy bill. A.J. Wilhelmi heads the Illinois Health and Hospital Association and says rural hospitals may be most at risk because they tend to serve a larger volume of Medicaid patients. But Wilhelmi says some of the cuts will not take effect for another few years, and he is urging state officials to start working now on solutions to protect those hospitals. I'm John Norton, WCBU News.
Okay, John. John, sorry, you missed what was going on. Yeah. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah. At any rate, let's turn to John Meisinger, a lovely gentleman.
Very nice.
Yes, very nice. Occasional outburst, but you know,
every once in a while.
It's medication controlled, so we're okay.
Thanks, Roger.
Oh, good grab there, Charlie.
Shota Amanaga struck out Aaron Judge
Easy for you
twice
to
while
say.
pitching 7 sparkling innings. I thought I'd put that in. That sounds
that's
pretty good, doesn't it?
nice.
Leading the Chicago Cubs to a 4-1 victory over the New York Yankees yesterday. Michael Busch and Dansby Swanson homered for the Cubs. I almost said clubs, but I said Cubs, who headed into the All-Star break with 57 wins, which is actually their most since 2008. Daniel Palencia handled the 9th inning for the 12th save, finishing it with a 2-hitter. Cincinnati manager Terry Francona got his 2,000th win when he directed the Reds to a 4-2 win over the Colorado Rockies yesterday, so congratulations to him. In other games last night, the Cardinals beat the Braves 5-4, the Guardians over the White Sox 6-5 in 10 innings, the Mariners 8, the Tigers 4, Pirates beat the Twins 2-1, the Brewers beat the Nationals 8-1, and the Phillies 2-1 over the Padres. Yesterday in Peoria, it was the Colonels 10, the Chiefs 8. As the Chiefs took it on the chin, they led almost the whole game till the last 3 innings when the Colonels decided they weren't going home losers. The Chiefs' next game will be at Quad Cities after the All-Star break on Friday, July 18th at 6:30 p.m. Chicago Bears and general manager Ryan Poles have agreed to a 3-year contract extension that runs through the 2029 season, according to ESPN. Poles had 2 years remaining on a 5-year contract he signed upon becoming Chicago's general manager in 2022. He is now aligned with head coach Ben Johnson, whose contract runs through 2029 season. The Bears are 15-36 since Poles was hired.
Wonderful.
It's just absolutely, I don't get it. And I'm not saying the general manager is the one that's in charge, but 33%, 30% winning, not the best. Youth golf. The Mount Holly Junior Open Golf Prep Tour was held last week at Mount Holly Country Club and Kellogg Golf Course. Over 80 high school age boys and girls from around the Midwest competed in the two-day tournament. Shane Cunningham, who will be a freshman at Richwoods, won the varsity boys division after edging out junior Court Bohannon of Washington High School in the playoff hole on Friday. Both finished tied at regulation at +4 over the two-day tournament, and I joked because when they left the tournament, Shane was the only one that isn't old enough to drive. He had to go home with mom or
Good
dad.
for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Thank
Too
you.
bad.
That was nice. JV winner was Will Snyder of Broomfield, plus at a +6, and the girls division, Ella Tooman of Effingham. So congratulations to all the winners. Hey, there's a good swimmer in town. There always have been good swimmers, but this one's pretty exceptional. Cameron Gardner, 14, swims for the Peoria Area Water Wizards. In March, as a 13-year-old, she set the Illinois record for her age group in the 200 butterfly. Then later in the month, she broke her record at the National Swim Club Swimming Association meet in Florida. She wowed the crowd with a meet record time of 2 minutes, 0.46. So she swam the length of 2 football fields plus in
Wow,
2
that's
minutes
something.
in butterfly, which
That's
is
quick.
not as usually
Not
as
easy,
fast as
is it? Yeah.
freestyle. She's a month away from joining Peoria Notre Dame swim team. I'm sure Derek Ammerman, the coach there, is excited about her being on his team. Wimbledon yesterday, the 2025 tournament ran for a good 2 weeks, June 30th through July 13th. Iga Swiatek, I think it's Swiatek, defeated Amanda Anisimova of Great Britain. Why don't they have names like
Like
Grau and
Jones,
Smith and Monroe?
yeah, and Meising.
Give them nicknames. You can give them
Chamberlain.
nicknames. You can do that.
Chamberlain. It'd be a lot
Give them
easier.
nicknames.
She became Poland's first Wimbledon singles champion. Jannik Sinner of Italy triumphed over defending champion Carlos Alcaraz of Spain for the men's singles title. That's the first singles title ever won by an Italian. So congratulations to both those winners. And Roger, that's sports for this minute.
Yeah, when you're talking about swimmers, do you remember the name of the girl from Metamora?
Anna Paplowski.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a great swimmer she was.
She was. This girl's going to be pretty close to that.
Yeah,
So-
sounds wonderful.
Nice.
I wonder if any of our listeners are good swimmers. I wonder, as an example, I wonder if Dick Hawley can swim. Can you swim, Dick?
I sure can.
Good for you. How old were you when you learned to swim? Are these hard questions?
Years old.
Yes.
I was large for my arms. It was like the same size as fourth and fifth graders now at 5.
Ooh.
And the lifeguard thought I was old enough I should know how to swim. You threw me in the middle of the deep end.
Oh, you're kidding.
Not traumatic at all, was it?
The lifeguard happened to be the baby sitter for my mom, but my dad was going out west. All the moms worked, but my mom babysat all of us. Her husband happened to be the head lifeguard, so that was the last day that kid was a lifeguard.
Just a sub note, I'm large for my age right now. So, and what? Yeah. Well, these lovely chocolate chip cookies will help keep my weight up. Well, what's going on in the world of Dick Hawley?
Well, I just pulled into a truck stop to get a snack and to use the facilities. I'm on my way back from Michigan. I took a youth group up to camp for the week. So I took them up yesterday and I'm on my way home today.
Well, it's not. It's kind of unusual for people when they stop to pee to call us, but we sure appreciate.
Well, kind of you did.
It's been foggy out there. Until I got on the.
Well, I can understand that too, Dick. Honesty is the best policy. That's right.
That deserves some kind of an award.
No.
That's what the judge said. How many hours have you been at the wheel?
About 3.
Yeah. And where are you right now? In the restaurant?
Number 3, thank you. So you must know.
I knew as soon as I asked it was someone.
Yeah, I've been best ever.
Oh.
Well, so great. Are you signed up for transporting the Bradley women's basketball team again this year?
Yes, sir, I am. Director of basketball operations in the non-conference play games. Sorry, and
Well, good for you. So how many are on board of the bus?
none. I took him up there to camp, and I'm on my way back.
Oh, so he's all by his lonesome.
Pretty cool. This is just a lot bigger.
Yeah. But it's very nice of you to call on us to help keep you awake.
You pick up hitchhikers.
Still going down.
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
That was 70 miles an hour in the construction zone. Nice road. Get back to Illinois, and it's 45 miles an hour. That's construction. But the section we're on was wide lanes, brand new highway, 45 miles an hour. That's an idiot. And they wonder why people get mad.
So, quit beating around the bush, Dick. What do you mean?
Yeah. So they put all these sports speed limits, but they have all these accidents because they have too many cars in one spot because the speed limit's so slow. They need to let it flow through.
Agreed.
Like get over by Joliet, and they got these rare lanes on the side of the road called an interstate, driving a bus in a ditch, basically, and the speed limit was 55 and 6. It just doesn't make any sense what they do.
No, it doesn't.
I need a disclaimer.
That's scary up there driving on those roads because you're usually off on the shoulder they say it's a full lane, but it's not a full lane. You're way too close to other things. So I agree with you.
Got about 3 inches on each side.
Jeez.
So it makes it close. I need to do a disclaimer, Dick, no offense, but the views on this program are not necessarily reflective of the views of WAZU.
Hey, Dick, you're a professional driver, Dick. Could you explain to everybody, because not nobody, but
Ain't nobody.
very many people know when you get a lane closure and it closes down to one lane, the safest, best way to do that is to zipper in. Is that correct? And everybody, when you have a lane closure, everybody gets in the left-hand lane, let's say, because they're closing the right-hand lane, for a mile back, and you're not supposed to do that. Everybody's supposed to continue on the 2 lanes to where it stops, and then you take turns going in.
But then people think you're cutting them off.
I know. If you pass the people, they look at you, they give you they're not very nice to you.
That's funny how that beep said give you the you beeped right away. It was like, well,
now you're a professional driver. It is what. Yeah, I've seen drivers block 2 lanes because they don't think it's right, and I agree with them.
Yeah, I do too.
Line.
Yeah, get line. Yeah.
Because if we follow your philosophy,
no, my philosophy is safer.
Okay,
don't kill us, Huffy.
Okay, so we're at Walmart at Christmas time, and you're in a line, and you're number 9, and somebody goes past you and cuts in front of.
No, that's
the
really,
third and
this
fourth.
kind of
What's
different.
the difference?
It's real different. You're not. It's very different.
You get them and knock them down.
You did say you were large as a child, right? Yeah, so you're used to doing that.
No, zippering that's what the Illinois State Police recommends. It's a safer way to do it. It's safer that way.
I'm just trying to help, Roger. Stop traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Michigan, and they say one lane closed ahead, and a quarter mile later there's an arrow, and they start closing. They don't have this 2.5 to 5 miles of garbage that they got in Illinois. They should let them drive up to where you get close, and then tell them slow down and merge together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to drive 55 miles an hour for a mile and a half or 2.5 miles before you get to the construction area.
Wow.
You sound like you're a little huffy. You're suffering from driver's fatigue this morning?
Well, today be a little different.
Well, you got me there.
I'm going to start calling him Ralph.
Cramden.
Anything else? Any other questions you have for Dr. Phil?
Well, I'm just appreciating that you gave me a promotion.
So are you picking us on YouTube?
Why don't
Well,
You have to.
actually, because of the tone of your comments this morning, I wanted to make sure that by elevating you, it means that we can now can increase your medication. All right, I think Kyle Arnold is trying to get in to give the weather, so I hope that we've entertained you so that you're probably around Joliet by now.
Yeah, I'm just pulling out of the truck stop.
Oh, you're just now pulling out of the facility
Okay.
that you stopped to get a
I
bite to
never
eat.
use it. Oh, that facility.
Yeah.
Okay. Never called it pulling out of the facility.
No, you put it away.
That's where I was going with that, but that's where we. Thank you.
We have to be careful. All right. Hey, thanks for calling in.
You had this talk.
Yeah.
So are we.
That's very good, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Dick. Bye, Dick.
I think that was a therapy call.
I think it was too. I'd feel better.
If he was listening to us or whether he just called us.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he'd have to get us on his
He'd have to get us on YouTube, would he not?
smartphone on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Kind of curious.
Yeah. Well, we'll ask him.
I wonder if on the bus, these buses at Peoria Charter are really modern. I mean, they've got everything. Unbelievable. Even I'm told the toilets have the high pressure now. So
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
The same thing.
What's a high pressure toilet?
You don't have one?
I
Listen.
I don't
Well,
have
I tell you what.
a high pressure toilet.
Oh, absolutely. You get those things and they're good.
Oh, a power
We-
flusher.
No.
No.
It is. Mine is so strong. Guy next door neighbor called and said thank you. That's a line from what was the comedian?
Mark Lowry.
Mark Lowry.
When he gets the plunger, the super plunger.
That's true. That's hilarious.
This is hilarious. He got it at Home Depot.
Yep.
And he lived in the apartment house. He said he didn't realize that he said that the what's the ointment you put on your chest?
Bengay.
Yeah, he said Ben Gay was in the air every night, and then he realized he was in a nursing home. Mark Lauer, we had him on the show years ago when we were on WOAM.
That's
And he
hilarious.
did come to Grace Presbyterian Church a couple of years ago, and I wanted so bad. He is a absolute
guy.
riot.
Oh, he's very
Yeah.
funny. Yes.
All right.
He's the guy that wrote Mary, Did You Know?
Yeah, he
What?
wrote the lyrics.
He wrote the lyrics of Mary, Did You Know?
The song,
Seriously?
the Christmas
Seriously.
song.
Mhm.
A local guy?
No, he's not local. He's
Mark Lowry.
I don't
They-
know Mark Lowry.
Okay, he's with Bill Gaither quite frequently. And when Bill Gaither came to the Civic Center Arena, he was part of the crew.
Okay.
But a very, like you said, a very funny.
Wow.
he's a
Yeah.
Christian comedian,
Okay.
and
All right.
he
I'll
does
have to
He
look
said
some songs too.
he gave a really a great plug for Home Depot. He said they're wonderful. He said I went in with my shopping cart to get some plumbing. He said I came out with a hot tub. All right, let's. I think Kyle was trying to get in, so let's do
Keep
the
him out.
news. Yeah. And our news at the bottom of the hour this morning is brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President. He's a financial advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria for investment needs. Check out Bob at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Now the news.
Call.
Yes, I will call him.
A
Thank you.
Sunday shooting in Lexington.
I'm glad you whispered so nobody could hear you. Call to Kyle. Okay.
Well, now everybody knows. So, a Sunday shooting in Lexington, Kentucky, has left 2 women dead and 2 others injured, as well as a state trooper. The gunman is dead, say police. The suspect shot the trooper near the Bluegrass Airport and then went to a Baptist church where he opened fire, killing the women and wounding 2 men before he was fatally gunned down. No motive for the shootings has been determined. Most of the weekend news focused on the attempted assassination of President Trump a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. That and the scoop of protection, or more accurately, the lack thereof, by the Secret Service agents. Helen Compatore wasted no words for the agency, calling it garbage. Her husband died from a bullet fired by 20-year-old Matthew Thomas Crooks, intended for the president. The agents were blasted for being inside the building while Crooks lay waiting on the roof. He managed to get off 8 shots in 6 seconds before he was killed by Secret Service snipers. Sandra Van Paul believes there's been a cultural cover-up of the assassination attempt. The latest investigative report says the Trump White House made more than 10 requests for additional protective resources, and all were denied or ignored by the Secret Service. Heavy rains have hampered the efforts of recovery teams in central Texas. The latest death toll is at 129, with more than 170 listed as missing. Meanwhile, Democrats are attacking Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, claiming there has been a slow response by FEMA to help survivors of the flood. Senator Elizabeth Warren demanded the resignation of Noem. The secretary said she could care less what Senator Warren said. President Trump held a news conference with Texas officials who praised the quick response from Trump and the federal government. The battle of tariffs continues with the president announcing 30% tariffs against the European Union and Mexico. Trump said the tariffs would begin August 1st. The president is seeking a better balance between the countries, pointing out exports from this country are heavily taxed in Europe and Mexico. We've been on the short end of trade deficits for years, Trump said. It's time for a change. In local news, tomorrow is the big day of the start of this year's Heart of Illinois Fair. The annual event at Expo Gardens runs from Tuesday through Saturday. No word from fair officials, but this could be the last fair due to the sale of 70 acres of Expo Gardens land to the city of Peoria for a planned housing development. There's also been a decline in recent years of fair attendance. Most, if not all, of the livestock events have been canceled, and again this year, no carnival. And tonight, the McCluggage Bridge will be closed from 7 to 9 p.m. Workers will be blowing up some concrete piers during that time. Drivers will have to utilize the downtown bridges, the Murray Baker, the Bob Michael, and the Cedar Street. No word on whether the CARP will be affected, but I bet they'll be flying through the air.
Oh, absolutely.
And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, a check of the weather, and we're going to be talking to Kyle Varnell here very shortly, just in seconds, as a matter of fact. You know, more people are turning to home health care for loved ones, and more people are choosing Spoon River. Their staff, professional and personal, have been for over 30 years. Spoon River Home Health at 309-245-0723. Why don't we just turn to Kyle?
How about we do that?
Yeah, because he's on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Roger. And with just almost a little bit humid, no winds to be found. Today's gonna suck day.
Is it foggy where you are?
What big in Washington was very foggy this morning. Yeah. Foggy. I went out to do my run at 5 a.m. and I'm like 2 blocks from my house. I'm like, yeah, I need to go back and get my vest. I'm gonna get hit by a car this morning. Yeah. But thankfully, I put my vest on a few cars. You know, I expect most of the pass, but there was a couple of spots where I had to cross some roads, and it was that foggy that I did not feel safe without my reflective vest.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't trust people. I'm surprised that you run where you run, but you know how to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I've yet to be abducted, so thank God for Washington.
Yeah. George? Well, what's the weather going to be today?
Well, today is really interesting. So the warm air certainly moved back in. The fog is blending off, but the moisture is still prevalent at the surface. So it's going to be really humid, really sticky, and there's really no breeze to balance out things. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be steamy. It's just a nasty summer day. We have 3 nasty summer days on tap, actually. So today, tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, that station front to the south of us will be creeping north. So we wouldn't be surprised to see some convection, especially in the mid-afternoon hours. So don't be surprised to see those popcorn thunderstorms we talked so lovingly about, especially tomorrow midday and tomorrow afternoon. And then Wednesday, we start off in the humid, but we have a cold front, pretty dynamic cold front, coming in Wednesday night. We could start off not only some storms, but potentially some severe storms, especially given the timing of that frontal's arrival and the atmospheric setup we'll have, especially later Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. So big storms Wednesday night. We cool down very nicely on Thursday and Friday. And then we have another frontal boundary coming in, a cold front on Saturday. It's going to bring us more thunderstorms, which hopefully is more rain, which busts us of this drought. Because, you know, we talked on Friday, and I was talking about the storms and how I thought they'd be after 10:30. And by God, if I could put my hand on my back and pick myself, I would. I'm driving, and I don't want to crash. So in that case, those storms, they were later night arrival, predicted by Lewis truly. And, we didn't see as much rainfall as I was hoping. I only got just over 6/10 of an inch of rain in Washington. Now, I do have some friends up in Wyoming, Illinois. They got over 2.5 inches of rain on Friday, and I'm easily jealous of them ever since.
Yeah. We're speaking with our weather guy, yours truly, and continuing. Normally, when you have a warm front and a cold front coming together, doesn't that spell tornado in some instances?
It certainly does, and it is in Iowa, which we talked about on Saturday. Most of the tornadic activity will take place in Iowa. It sure did, especially eastern Iowa. We actually, the tornado reports near Dubuque, south of Dubuque area, came down across the river, and there was a lot of damage. We also saw some potential, we don't know if it was a microburst or a tornado in Rockford near the Magic Waters Water Park on Friday.
Ooh, wow. Been there?
Yeah, there's still yeah. So the park is actually closed for the rest of the month because the damage was so excessive, and some of the structural integrity of the water slides is in question. So that's a big insurance claim. Thank God I don't insure that property.
Yeah.
So the tornadoes will certainly be at play. I think on Wednesday we'll see kind of the same setup as what we saw Friday. I think most of the heavy stuff takes place in eastern Iowa and northeast Missouri. And then by the time it gets here, it'll just be straight damaging winds, the bow echo, hail, heavy rain, and the strong straight line winds will be probably the main factor, especially Wednesday evening, Wednesday night.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A look at the weather, and this humidity is going to hang around for a while.
Yeah, the humidity is here for the next 72 hours at least. Well, 48 hours, I should say, 'cause it's Monday now. But it'll be pushed out with that cold. You'll feel it till about Wednesday evening when the storms will come through, and you'll certainly feel the cooler, drier air moving in Thursday morning, Thursday, Friday, and then another event on Saturday, which will bring in the next chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight Friday night into Saturday morning. And again, if we can get a couple inches of rainfall, I'll be very, very grateful for it because we certainly need it.
Say, in a sports note, we learned that Jannik Sinner of Northern Italy won men's title at Wimbledon. Is that close to where Nick's hometown is?
I'd have to Google where he's from. I'm not familiar with the man. I don't know how to spell his name, but I can send Nick a message and find out.
Think of Sin. It's just like Sin with an N and two N's and an ER. Jannik Sinner is the winner, and they said he's from Northern Italy. And I know that's a broad area, but I thought I would bring it up in remembrance and fondness of Nick.
I'm Googling it as we speak, so find something to talk about for 15 seconds. I'll tell you where he's from.
Okay. We're listening to yours truly, giving the weather.
He's up in the top of the boot, in other words, is what you're saying, in Italy.
You know what?
Correct?
Remember, I remember taking a geography class in grade school, and they referred to Italy as the boot of Europe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like it.
Oh, yes, it was.
That's been 22 seconds.
22 seconds.
Which is more than but there's times where it's you can call it Santiano, which is named after Saint Candida, and it's in Italy. So he's from literally right up on the border. So he would be,
well, no, that's pretty close. They probably know something about him for that matter.
They know his family, maybe.
Yeah, good. All right, Kyle, as always, it's just a lovely pleasure talking with you.
Always a pleasure.
You bet. I will. And you as well. Thanks, Kyle. Well,
what he's referring to is when you were driving the other day, Roger, you ran into, well, you didn't run into, you saw some cows in the road.
You know, I wouldn't have done that without you telling me. I realized for our listeners,
because we talked about it hours ago.
Yeah.
And I was half awake then.
Yeah, and about the same now. Anyway, we have two things we need to cover for the end. Your appearance at Graceland along with Elvis Presley, Terry. And I have a great This Day in History question you're going to love. Our listeners are going to love. Don't go away while we have our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and, of course, cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known somewhat slag. Eventually, I got all the